I'm gonna talk about that lotion. Got it. It is being live streamed now. Let me fix my shit. Let me see if I can grab this Zoom link from here.
Are we on?
Yeah, it should be. Are we?
Let's see. Oh, here they go.
Neighbors, gee whiz.
They're so loud.
In progress. Let me see something here. Let's see, are we live? Oh wait, no, that's not what I want to do.
Yeah.
Okay. I want to grab
We are live and in living color.
What's happening, family? I want to grab the Zoom link so that we may have some participants. All right, there we go. Bam. Then I think if I go here and oh Lord, can this computer move any slower?
Telling us we are.
All right, family, what's happening? What's happening? We are I'm just going to grab this Zoom link and post it in the chat. Oh, and also, yeah.
Here we are.
Oh, bam, look at me.
Look at me. Change the narrative, Stacy.
Okay, I'm gonna pause this.
Hey guys.
Oh, back.
We're hearing ourselves.
All right. Now I can go here
and drop the link. Hi, Lady Keem.
Bam, there we go. All right, family. I'm gonna say if you want to join us, click the link. Click link to join Convo.
Thank you.
All right. So, who just texted me?
Is our video frozen?
No, I paused it. We on Zoom over here.
Got it.
All right. There we go. Bam. All right. It took us a minute.
It takes forever to just get the link in the chat.
Took us a minute, but we got it.
Yeah,
we here. So we'll give everybody a second or two to get in. I think what number we at? How many people we on there?
I don't know.
All right.
29. Hey, 29. Great people watching now.
Thank you guys so much for joining us. We surely appreciate it. Oh, we got, yeah.
Yes, we appreciate it.
Copy the
How's everyone this Sunday evening / morning if you're back in the States?
Oh, wait a minute.
Oh, goodness.
It won't let me copy the Zoom link. Let me see what happens when it does that. I was going to ask me if I want to leave. No, this is not what I want to do. Uh-oh.
See? You connected to yourself. Connected to yourself.
Leave me. That's not what I want to do.
Situation.
I don't know how to copy.
Greetings, George.
I'm trying to figure out how to
copy.
Is
that it? Longile. Danilo. Cleophas. Wow.
That's one of them Leroy Merlin names.
Right.
Y'all watched the last video, Leroy Merlin. That is a quintessential 75-year-old African-American black man's name. Facts. Leroy Merlin. And he have a little cigarette hanging out of his mouth, and he gonna fix your car. He can repair your house. He know plumbing. He know everything. Leroy Merlin, man. Everybody needs Leroy Merlin in their family. So, and Cleophas is his brother.
Right.
Cleophas is his brother. Yeah. So what's going on? Shout out to George Lungile.
I've already given a shout out.
Oh, all right. Changing the narrative. What's happening with you? All right. No Bugani.
Hey.
All right.
What's going on?
If y'all want to join, I posted the link at least one time. I'm gonna try to post it again. Let me see.
Oh no.
Let me see if I can post it one more again.
Again.
All right. Let me see if I can post it one more again.
Yeah.
Bam.
There we are.
There we go. So I'm gonna just have to do it like that when it comes to posting the link, man. So, man, the Undertaker said, "Good evening, good evening. Nothing but a true greetings to you, sis and Booty,
CC and Booty.
CC and Booty.
That must mean sister and brother.
Brother.
Hey.
Yeah. Sip
Load shedding.
Man, that's what we're talking about today. Oh, that's it. Man, let me get back to it. Man, load shedding out of control. Wow. They said it's at level 5 or 6 or something.
6 is that? I mean, they just said 5 yesterday.
I ain't never even knew it go that high.
Can we? I know I thought 4 was higher. Next thing you know, we're gonna be like level 10.
Level 10 load shedding. You get 10 minutes of daylight. You get 10 minutes of lights, and the rest of the day is just dark.
Oh my gosh!
I didn't know I did not know it went up to 5 or 6.
Right.
I didn't understand.
I'm scared to know what level it is.
I don't want to know. I do not want to know. Everybody said, "What do you think about load shedding? What do you think?" We was like, "Man, it ain't no big old deal." Blah 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 blah.
You'll be all right.
Man, I've never seen anything like this.
The good thing is it's planned. I do appreciate that. Like, you know,
when it's gonna
happen,
happen,
right?
Yeah.
So, unlike places where it's just zoop.
So fortunately,
come back on.
Fortunately, I want to say 2 things. Fortunately, we have an inverter, so we have lights. So at home, it is really not. It doesn't really affect us. You know, it goes out, the inverter kicks in, bam, 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 just like that, and we keep it moving. But the only thing that happens is because of that momentary pause, the Wi-Fi goes out. Then you have to the Wi-Fi connected to the TV, like a DST. Is it DSTV? You have to put the passcode back in and start over. Other than that, that's the only inconvenience we get at home. But as soon as you leave the house and go to the store, man, we had to buy some phones today, man. The phone store had all AC on. It is like it was like the phones would look like they was melting. And then we walked around the market in Rosebank. We have done a lot of walking and stuff. And then my oldest son said he wanted a soccer ball.
Yeah.
Now we were at Rosebank. If you know, we were coming out of Rosebank and you had to walk across the parking lot, to walk this way, to get to game. I had been in that hot cell phone store just sweating. I'm sweating bullets. I'm like, what is wrong with me?
Head all wet.
And then we get the game and the escalator's not working. You gotta, I'm like, boy, I'm gonna be in shape.
And then the Woolworths, like the clothing section, we came through, all the lights out.
It's
like,
just dark.
The part of the store has lights, couple parts have lights, but I guess that light's supposed to stretch.
It's intimate. We don't say it was dark, it was intimate. Intimate lighting. I was like, what is going on? And the dudes that I don't know who pay them. I don't know if it's just off of GP, but when the lights go, like the robots go out or whatever, and they be out there directing traffic, I was like, man, this is not industrious. What do you call it? Initiative. Right? They just taking initiative. It's like they stop asking for change and just like, okay, we're gonna direct the traffic.
And people listen. They were like, stop.
They had one dude, he got with it real quick. He got gangster with him. He got like his pip on. He said, oh man.
The load shedding. Look, somebody said something about level what?
We don't want to know no more levels.
No, they said something higher, level 8.
We don't want to know no more levels.
What's left? Level 8.
That's not.
And then, wait, Coldplay, why you doing that? Zimbabwe doesn't have load shedding.
Somebody said Zimbabwe didn't have load shedding. I installed solar panels. So that's the second thing I want to say. If capitalism has taught Americans anything, if capitalism has taught the world anything, is that crisis and catastrophe are opportunities for innovation and entrepreneurship. That is what, so in New Orleans, it floods. Your house will get flooded. There'll be 5 and 6 feet of water in your house, right? Every time that happens, people make tons of money doing very simple stuff. Y'all know y'all made fun of us saying our houses were built out of cardboard, right? So you got to go in there, you got to pull all that cardboard out. It's called gutting houses, right? You got to go in there, you rip all of the sheetrock out.
Flooded and gut.
You don't have to have a degree, you don't have to have a high school diploma, you don't have to have anything. But I know a dude who told me when the last major flood happened, he just rented a U-Haul van, right? He rented a U-Haul van and went around just gutting houses because a lot of people don't want to do that. That's hard. All it is physical manual labor, right? But it doesn't require any intellect. It doesn't require any thoughts. You just going up there tearing some stuff up, right? Ripping all of it out. So, and putting it in a U-Haul van and or putting it in your truck and hauling it away. So this is an opportunity. So load shedding is an opportunity. There should be like black and brown and white, what you call them, inverter companies everywhere. You just should be selling inverters everywhere.
Green energy, some way or the other.
Or solar panels, solar installation. It should be like we used to call them like the GED classes, and like, oh man, when someone didn't want to go to university, they would go to Job Corps. Job Corps to learn a skill, right? So they go to Job Corps. Man, high school students who decide, hey, I don't want to go to varsity or go to university, go to Job Corps, bam, 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 learn how to build inverters, then just make inverters left and right. And while they may be expensive now, the more people who get into the business, that price comes down. Or more people who get into solar and alternative energy, building solar panels. And let me tell you, as we mentioned earlier, it'll be phenomenal for people like us who are landlords. To make our properties more attractive, we're gonna put in inverters. So look, hey, when the lights go out, you ain't gotta worry about it. We're gonna charge you a little extra.
It worked for us, didn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, no, I can't play with lights.
Yeah, you gotta have an inverter.
Lights.
Yeah.
Working at night, I'm gonna talk to that.
Let's see. All right. I'm gonna put the code because I really want to talk to my family tonight. So I wanted people to my South African family to jump in. So let me see if I go to here, bam, and I'm gonna put that thing in one more time. Anybody want to jump on in? Jump on in.
Lucky, you say you installed solar panels. Jump in. Let's talk about it.
All right, let's see what some of these comments are saying. Hello, brother Asad. May Allah salam alaikum to you and your family, but the Mahadi is in class and it is started on YouTube. I don't know about that. Word has it that this week we might be go up to level 8.
I told you that.
Oh wow.
I'm just talking.
Do guys love South Africa? Facts.
Yes.
That big lie at Coldplay. I don't know what that was talking about. Sister, man, the person is younger than you too. Sister, the same for
Miss
the man.
PLC.
Oh, Miss PLC is jumping on. Load shedding is terrible. Coldplay. Why you had to lie like that? Hello from Cape Town. What's going on, brother? Yesterday, I was asked by an older white man, why in the world would I move to South Africa? What you told him, changing the narrative? Told him I'm gonna just. Would you rather me stay in America? And
we get that question a lot.
Yeah, y'all been told us to go back to Africa. Every time we complained about something, white Americans, well, go back to Africa.
You don't like it, go back to Africa.
If you don't like us killing you, go back to Africa. If you don't like us putting you in jail for jaywalking, go back to Africa. You should tell us that all the time. And we just like, man, please stop lynching us. You don't want to be lynched? Go back to Africa. So I was like, okay.
It's a highfalutin inverter heaven, brother. That's not
Man, ain't highfalutin, man. Look, that's a necessity. You gonna be in the dark. You gonna be in the dark. And then it gets, and you know another thing, let me tell you another difference that I've noticed in Johannesburg. So it is coming into summertime right now, right? Or maybe spring right now. So in the States, I think it's because of the hemisphere. In the States, when you start getting into summertime, like around, so December 25th is actually the shortest day in the US. They don't like, it's like the shortest amount of daylight is what I'm talking about. And then every day after that, it gets more and more, but like the daylight lasts longer and longer. In New Orleans, it will still be light outside at 8:30 p.m.
Yeah,
Still be light outside. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So like here, it's like 6 o'clock. What time is it right now? 6 o'clock?
6.
It's dark.
It's pretty much dark.
Yeah, it's 6:23. It's dark outside. So I don't know if as summertime, if the days begin to extend, but it seems like the daylight don't last all day.
Don't last long enough. It's dark already.
It's getting dark, yeah. Brother Asad, you're looking fresh and clean. Girl, hands, thank you. Ain't nobody don't best me. I'm just so fresh. My wife looked at me today. She said, "Oh, that haircut actually makes you look younger.
Makes you look younger.
Without that big." Yeah.
I told you that. Y'all haven't seen him without anything.
Boy.
He looks like a child.
Boy, I love
look too young.
Like she robbing the cradle. Like she,
no, that's
like she Roberta Kelly out here. Aside, have you got a generator? I got an inverter, so I don't have a generator, and I got 2 inverters. In fact, I got a baby one, and then I got a big one that can actually run everything. But I was like, I needed something. So yeah, nearly missed out, fam. Didn't know that you were going live. I'm sitting here in Nutrarena in the dark, load shedding woes. That's what we talking about. That load shedding. The white American folks said, "What a treasure they gave us." Oh, thank you so much. Somebody said the sun is shining in Cape Town. So look, we are planning a trip. So now here's what I need. I need the debate to start off right now. Miss PLC, you here? All right. Well, I think
I'm here.
Inverter, so I don't have a generator, and I got 2 inverters. In fact, I got a baby one. I can hear myself in the bed.
Yeah, but I'm hearing double reverb.
Something. So okay, maybe you might have to. Yeah, you might have to pause the you might have to pause that YouTube
or turn her computer down.
Or yeah, but I'll say this: we're deciding whether we want to take a trip to Cape Town in like 2 weeks or Durban in like 2 weeks. So that is the debate, because we know both have the beaches. Now we haven't been to Durban before, but we have been to Cape Town. So that's the only mark that is kind of pushing us towards Durban. But we feel like
warmer waters.
Well, I feel like we haven't given Cape Town a fair shake. Like, you know, because I always said it was Josie that made me want to move to South Africa. It was Joe. So I feel like I want to kind of put my eyes on it again. You know, look at it with.
Well, I plan on being at Kelly's wedding in December, which will give me the second eyes on.
Okay, well.
We have yet to put any eyes on Durban.
Somebody said somebody said Durban is on top, on guard. No, not on guard. It's kind of pushing us towards Durban. But we feel like, you know, I could Miss PLC, I think I could hear my fair shake. My stuff. Like, you know, because I always
turn the volume down on your computer. Well,
so I feel like I want to kind of. I don't know, Miss PLC, can you hear me? Oh, she okay. I don't know how to say that. Corcabara.
Oh my God!
Is on top. This one right here from Treyway. I don't know how to say that word.
I'm not gonna play like that.
Go to Durban. Somebody said go to Durban. Cape Town quiet. Oh, the sun is still shining out here, formerly known as Port Elizabeth. Okay, that's the same word. See?
Yes, someone needs to get on and
y'all gotta write that out. You gotta sound that out phonetically for me.
For Port Elizabeth.
Yeah, that's it. I've never seen a word with a G and a Q next to each other. That's hard for me.
One or the other has to be pronounced, not both, huh? It's just the G or the Q.
No. Don't do that to me. Y'all know I can't do it. Just got out of church. Them Southern Baptists sure know how to wake up your soul. Facts, what's happening, Denzel? Man, you know my daddy is a Southern Baptist preacher. And all that old type of stuff. Yeah. Coming out feeling good or feeling bad, one of the two. Because if they start talking about your personal sin, sometimes it's like the preacher talking just to you. You out there fornicating, running with all that women. Oh, I can't come to this church no more. The city of Johannesburg in just a few months will move away from Eskom and produce the independent power. Oh, okay. Facts. I mean, because load shedding is, you know what? Again, we're fortunate. We're not tripping. So, but for those who have to deal with this, like every other day, I'm thinking about the food that could be lost because you leave like ice cream in the refrigerator.
Right. The lady at the doctor's office, the receptionist lady was telling us she doesn't even buy yogurt anymore. She has to get her meat like right when she's about to cook it. She's like, I've lost so many groceries because of load shedding. It's like
after a hurricane and it hit New Orleans, that they would have barbecues because you just need to cook all your meat right then and there because the hurricane hit. So it's probably still good in your refrigerator for about a day. If you can make it back home, or if you didn't leave your house, you got meat, and people just start grilling all their meat up or whatever have you, so they could at least eat it. And so I think about the people here. Load shedding hits them, all their food goes bad, or a lot of their food will go bad. People trying to study for university, and you trying to write a paper. Man, you trying to write a paper?
Turn that torch.
Man, but what happens when you need the internet? You see what I'm saying? Like you need the internet, you trying to write a paper, or you're using Google Docs, or you're using trying to research something. And that internet goes out and you just stuck with that laptop. Let me tell you, that's what separates the smart from the fake smart. If you're able to still write that paper without Google Docs and spell check and going on to the internet and searching stuff, I'm serious. Dr. King wrote the letter from a Birmingham jail. If you just take the time, it's a book. He wrote a book while he was in jail. Go and read the letter from the Birmingham jail. And he was sitting in jail. This is in the 60s. There ain't no internet, ain't no computer. He wrote that by hand. And when you see how eloquent and just the use of words and the quotes, who he was quoting, he's quoting like Thoreau and Milton, all of this stuff just from off the top of his head. And he's writing this like profound indictment on white supremacy, on white moderates, on the white church. It's just like, that's how you know he really smart. Yeah, he really smart. I'm not really that smart. I just knew how to write my paper. I'm not really that smart. I knew how to go and put together the little dissertation thing. Yeah, but I had a computer. I had internet. Dr. King earned a PhD. He actually had to go to the library and open the book. He had to open that book. And that book, it smelled kind of moldy and musty because it's been sitting there, because don't nobody read for real life. And he had to go in there and read and find his citation that he wanted. Yeah, nah. Yeah, you said that's separate. Oh, I'm sorry. That really do separate the real smart people. Anybody that have a PhD before 1980, them people really smart. Yeah, anybody after, I don't know.
Y'all are right, because they said, what kind of magic meat is that goes from frozen to rotten in 2 hours? I didn't ask her. It didn't cross my mind to ask her. I should have known. Like, was the meat frozen? Was it already almost spoiled?
I don't know, but you got to get rid of it, because if you're right. If it's just 2 hours and load shedding, yeah, that's true. Yeah. That's true. Okay. Yeah, I didn't think about that. Coldplay. That's what I'm asking myself. Who is Coldplay? Coldplay.
Coldplay is commenting.
Oh.
Oh.
Ain't that a band?
No, I don't think so.
That was a band. That was a rock and roll band called Coldplay.
Perhaps.
I think so. We will be all right. Coldplay is from Cape Town listening. My satellite system is on the blink. Oh, I'm sorry, Miss PLC. Do you have a Visa Connect? I'm looking to relocate long term. Yeah, the Visa Connect, DHA.
Right. Look, we asking you the same thing. Do you have a Visa Connect?
DHA.
All those months.
So let me tell you.
Connect.
So recently, for those who are interested in relocating to South Africa, there's been some changes, and there's been changes that's changed since the changes.
Coldplay was the band, not Code.
Oh, yeah. I listened to Tupac, so I'm happy I even knew that there was a band that was near that band. So when we applied for our visas, it took they at the time they had these massive changes to the visa processing, and everything was done through Pretoria. And I think the world started complaining. People all over the world who were trying, French teachers.
Yeah, my school, those teachers.
Yeah.
3 weeks
in school. Yeah, it's like French teachers, other international school teachers who were trying to get their visas. Just a lot of people started complaining. So I think they have since switched back to visas. Like if you're in the States, the DC office is now again handling these kind of long-term visitors visas and all that good stuff. So hopefully that cuts down on the wait time, but I assume that they just transferred that long list of people to DC. Yeah, and you're still gonna have
someone you're gonna have to deal with.
Let's be patient.
Be very
patient.
You can know him all day. That's not gonna help.
Yeah. And speaking of patience, when we went to Tasha's today, and I just think this is cool. I think this is beautiful as we talk about nomenclature and naming and stuff. The person that served us today, his name was Knowledge. And we've met people here who say the name of like sincere, modest, right? Patience. Yeah. Yeah. And I was like, that's wonderful. You know, that's like speaking stuff into that is like naming and claiming, like it's giving the child the attribute that you want that child to be. And I really wish I would have named my child Quiet.
Let me see my name. What's another one?
Respectful.
I'm told. Seen and not heard.
I know someone named Noble. Yeah, that's wonderful. That's wonderful.
Quiet.
All right. Has anyone heard about the whites only city in South Africa? I'm really concerned why it's being ignored by the government. I wouldn't want to go.
Let the people have a city they want to
say. That's the problem. Here's what I'm saying. If somebody don't want to be bothered with you, you don't need to be bothered with them. You know, now some people could say, well, this is South Africa. This is, you know, the black man's land, African's land. That's a great argument. I'm with you. But just in general theory, I ain't interested in being around nobody that won't be around me. Right. If I walk into a place and they get up and leave, I'm not going to follow them. Well, why are you leaving? Because I came in. Man, bye. I didn't come in for you in no way. Yeah, so, I mean, you know, it's like.
And that little town is probably so whack. Like, we were talking about that because I'm like, that can't last but maybe 1 or 2 more generations.
If two.
The child comes to Joseph and be like, oh, I'm missing out.
Who wanna stay in that little bitty town?
Yeah, my cousin and all this whole type of stuff. I'm limited to my cousin's children. I can't even date nobody else. No, that's not gonna last.
No, man, stop running behind them people, man. Let them people live their life, man. They don't want to be bothered with you. You don't need to be bothered with them. That's how I look at it.
Right. Oh, I love it. Quiet That is Tula. It's Manla.
Oh, quiet as Tula and Zulu. I should have named my children Tula.
It's not too late.
It's not too late. You know, black people change their name anytime. Yeah.
Take on a different attribute.
Yeah, that's it. You don't need a visa. Connect. This land is for all of us. Just go to the SA Embassy and you'll get to connect. All right. Noble, quiet. Silence sounds like a better name. Fact. No, knowledge is not South African. Oh, I don't know. I didn't ask him if he was South African, but he was gracious, and I don't know if he was knowledgeable, but he was gracious and nice and a great waiter. And yeah, I just thought. Now I don't know if knowledge, because again, I don't know. I don't like, you South African, are you from Zimbabwe? Like, I met people named Patience here. What did you say, lady? Modesta, like modest. So yeah, I don't know. I guess maybe I should start asking. Are you local? Like you say, local New Orleans. Are you local? Change your concern, brother, sister. You are going to die soon from unnecessary stress. There's, I don't know, maybe.
What are we concerned about?
There's no secure access to enter this rural South African town, similar to so many others, but very quickly the uniqueness of Orana is obvious. Here, everyone is white. And he got like a little crown with a, I don't know what that means. But I guess he said it's his town. Well, that's, I mean, that's cool. Listen, there's white only places all over America, right? And they don't have to have the signs there. It's how they treat you when you get there. When the police pull you, it's Croc Springs, Louisiana. Only about 3 hours. And you know that if once 5:30 hit, you need to get out that time. You need to go. That's why I stay my black behind. That's why I stay my black behind in New Orleans. Well, they don't come. They don't want to be there. We don't want them. Yeah. And when they come, they know exactly what's going on. You understand what I'm saying? They come and they participate in what we have going on. You understand? That's just how it is. I mean, I don't know. I'm not too big on, like, I am pro-integration. I am, but I'm not pro-integrating people that don't want to integrate with me. I'm not, no indeed. But anyway, hey, Asad, how do you pronounce my name? Timber?
You asked.
Temba is Timber or Timber? Team.
No, I think you're okay where you are.
Oh, okay.
I think, but you know, they asked.
Innocent, okay. Somebody says innocent is a common name here as well. Facts, okay. Aside, okay. Sundown towns. Yes, Chris Bird, shout out Sundown towns. Yeah, you better get out of here before the sundown. Yeah. So
come on, Denzel. Southern Wake County is very white.
St. Tammany Parish, the suburbs of New Orleans. Yeah, that's better. Yeah, you know not to play around in them places. And Zilla. Oh, shout out to let me say this. So I didn't know that people knew who we were in Johannesburg. It's crazy. We have walked around different places, and it's strange because I told y'all before, I'd be like, somebody waving at me, somebody speaking to me, or they looking at me, and I'm just like, what's going on? Am I about to get jumped? Because, you know, I'm gotta get my hands, you know, get that jab game together, right? But anyway, it'd be like, Brother Asad, Dr. Asad. So yesterday we were at Mall of Africa. And we were walking out they got like a little promenade out there where they have water shooting up and the kids playing in the water. Yeah. And so we was just going, I don't know, I just saw a lot of people, like, let's see what's going on out there. And we're walking, and there's two ladies sitting down, and one lady's waving. And I'm like, I know she can't be talking to me. I don't know nobody here, right? And then another lady jumps up and rushes to Dr. Asad. I was like, they all talking to me. Neighborhood superstar.
We saw one.
Neighborhood superstar. Samantha, shout out to Samantha, man. It was great. So then we were we were walking by the church around here. We were just trying to get some exercise, just walking around, and guy was out there working in the church's garden, and he said, "Brother Asad," and I looked, and somebody else who watched the show, and he told me the story about Pete Calamari. I don't know if y'all remember that story I told y'all about Pete Calamari. And he said, "I'm gonna be a fan of yours as long as I'm alive." Like he's like Pete Calamari. I was like, yeah, okay. So
that's nice. It's always nice running into folks in the streets.
Is Adrienne, could you please tell how the salon visit went?
I never went.
Yeah.
I haven't gone yet.
Dizelle said, "I'm still weak. Your son said y'all moved all the way to SA to drive." That's all right though. That Honda running good and it's good on gas.
Hence, we want the name silence. We need to change it.
Load shedding is crazy, unreal. How you guys feel about that? Sucks you came and it's getting out of control. I mean, it is out of control. I mean, at first I kind of minimized it. Well, you know, I can't even go to work like today. The gym when we went grocery shopping, the gym was closed because none of the machines run without the without power. So yeah, I mean, it's just something you got to get used to it. Again, as long as I stay in my house, it doesn't affect me. I'm gonna have lights. I'm gonna have all that I need or whatever have you. But out and about, when the robots are out or the store lights are not on, or you go to the restaurant. We went to a restaurant. They told us they had a load shedding menu. I said, "Now that's innovation."
Hello. I was so impressed. Because I asked them before I even started ordering, what can I order on the menu?
Right.
What's not? Well, let me bring you the load shedding because it just kicked in. So I think
Like
well, look at y'all.
At Tasha's, you can't like order anything fried because I think like
it was the same thing then.
The fryers are down.
But
yeah, so other than that, but I just say if I were like a person looking to get into an industry, I would be on YouTube trying to figure out how to build inverters and learning everything about solar and alternative energy, like real small stuff, like how to build a small inverter. Listen, I got a small inverter, I'm looking at it. It ain't nothing but a solar battery, right? It's just a solar battery. It's like two big solar batteries that are in this thing when you lift the top off, because I'm nosy, I lifted the top off. It's just two solar batteries. Now, I don't know anything about wiring and all that type of stuff, but I'm sure somebody can teach you on the tube of the U, and you can get there. And I'm telling you, build little small inverters and sell them.
Time, right? It's like a global energy crisis.
They
say Europe's in trouble.
They say that the Eiffel Tower ain't gonna be lit up no more. I'm serious.
Times a night.
Yeah, they say that they
sparkling lights.
Yeah, they say they ain't gonna do all that. They got load shedding. So in Europe. So let's see. Zimbabwe brothers and sisters carry such names as good love, knowledge, and South Africans carry local names and Christian names because apartheid wanted the alternative Christian names, Peter, Paul, Ezekiel. Oh, okay. Easy name, Ezekiel.
The easiest, like, I'm just gonna give y'all what y'all can pronounce. You probably, I don't even want to deal with all that.
But again, we got Leroy, Cleophas, Ezekiel, all brothers. Them African American name, Ezekiel. Yeah, because Black people in America had them biblical names in a certain generation. They had a lot of biblical names too. So yeah, that Ezekiel. My Ophelia. Ain't Ophelia in the Bible?
I don't know.
I might have made that up, but anyway, born in Africa, this is getting better and better. Hello, family. A load shedding menu. Tube of the U. Load shedding is hampering the South African economy with the constant rush of productivity. Now that's a fact. Now that's some facts, King Naldo. Load shedding is definitely hampering because, I think that's why. I'm trying to phrase this. The states load shedding to cause people to riot. Yeah.
Yeah, they clown.
Yeah, they're clown. Because not because of the people's residence, but because it would hamper capitalism. It would hamper capital, money making. And that is what that is. People try to say America's culture is violence. It's not. America's culture is this. That. America's culture is capitalism. That's it. And whatever comes with it. Slavery was a result of the capitalist mindset, and racism was an afterthought. Right? Racism was created because capitalism needed a means to defend the reason that they were actually enslaving people, right? Capitalism controls. So anytime the money go back to 2020, them people said, wait, we can't stay in the house all this time now. Wait a minute.
They clowned, didn't they?
Yeah, we gotta go make some money.
They were like,
It's on the news. 3,000 Americans dead today. They're like, we need to open up. This is ridiculous. We cannot shut a country down. It's just like the flu. It's just a cold. They had the lieutenant governor of Texas. I think he was the lieutenant governor of Texas. He said, I'm an old person, because they said it was more vulnerable. Old people were more vulnerable. I know so many Americans who are just willing to die, older Americans who are willing to die to make sure that this country's economy gets back up and running. Yeah, they're not playing. So I think that would cause if this was something that was happening in the States, riots. And, as y'all talked about me, because I was like on my last video when I was looking for that little thing, like, oh, he's so American, he was looking for a gun. America's got guns. So if they decide to riot, it's different.
It is.
It's different. Yeah, like
you got to bring up the National Guard.
Yeah. So
full tanks out.
Yeah, y'all saw January 6th. Don't worry about when black people riot. When white people riot, that's a whole nother level, man. That's a whole, because the police be joining in with them. You know what? They're right.
We do need to take over.
Oh, that was police out there January 6th. Don't play no games. That was just no regular people.
They were the police.
That's Florida. The foolishness during that time was on 10. Man, Florida, man. DeSantis.
Y'all. Oh.
Say, okay, I ain't a Republican. I ain't none of that, right? I'm an independent political mind. But on the strength of what DeSantis is doing right now, say, man, that's got to be some of the coldest political maneuvering.
It is so petty, too.
It is the pettiest shit I've ever seen. I have never seen the petty. Y'all think Donald Trump was petty? Go and investigate what DeSantis in Florida is doing right now, man.
In Texas.
What's his name?
Oh, somebody help me out.
Not Ted Cruz.
It's not Cruz, man.
So, if y'all want to know what I'm talking about, there's a lot of immigrants who
he's the senator. Who's the governor of Texas? Abbott.
You
guys just gotta look at the. I can get a kick
say Abbott and these DeSantis, different Republicans, these southern towns, these southern states are saying illegal immigration is out of control. And I told y'all before many times, I respect the sovereignty of nations. If the Republicans have anything right, is that you have to respect the sovereignty of nations. And so South Africa, they go, oh, these people are xenophobic. If you want to come to South Africa, come legally. If you want to come to America, come legally, right? So DeSantis and Abbott, what's the name? Abbott. Man, all of these people are at the border in their state. So we're
not talking no trickle. We're talking
hundreds of people.
Thousands of
people
coming in, y'all, like this thing.
Yeah,
So it is its own crisis.
It is a crisis, absolutely.
You have this amount of people flowing into your state at all times. You got to manage that. They can't just come and be like, oh, thanks, here's a care package.
We can't.
That's how that goes. We got budgets, we got resources, we got to figure all this out.
Right. Yeah. And then it's just plain old legal. Come in the right way. So since these people are there illegally, and these liberal states up northeast are saying, we must welcome them and must do this, that, and the third. He said, okay, you won't welcome them? He rented a plane. Hey, this is cold. This is some petty stuff. He said, "You want to welcome him?" He rented a plane and flew them people he dropped about 200 people off in front of Kamala Harris' house. Not her businesses, not the Congress, in front of her house. He let the people off the bus in front of her house, like 200 people, right? And it's making a statement. And
DeSantis flew him to Martha's Vineyard.
Y'all know Martha's Vineyard.
I mean, they got paper out there, so if anybody can handle it,
you want to.
And Abbott keeps sending them to New York City, and New York is like, "Whoa, this is a lot."
Yeah,
like they can't handle the influx. Anyway.
All right. Okay. Yeah, detour. I'm sorry. I think load shedding is coming to the UK, and I think some parts of Europe are already experiencing facts. Traditional African American names like OJ and Ace are becoming popular in gym too. OJ name was Orenthal. Orenthal James. Yeah, you thought his mama just named him OJ?
I never knew what OJ meant. I never asked.
Orenthal James.
Orenthal.
Yeah, that sounds like something you rub on when you got an elbow pain. Man, give me some of that Orenthal, man. My elbow hurt.
Like menthol.
You don't need to choose a local soccer team to support. So check this out. Now, my son was in football and basketball all day in America. Football, basketball. All he wanted to do is play football and basketball. Now he comes home another day and says, "Dad, can I join the soccer team?" Matter of fact, I just told y'all at the beginning, we had to go buy a soccer ball because he wanted to go out there and get his soccer on. So yeah, I think South Africa he's starting to see other sports and starting to say, okay, well, they not finna play NFL football, so let me get into the soccer thing, you know? I'm Zulu, so you guys have got to go to Durban. All right, facts. All right, facts.
That's it. 1 minute.
We are being primed and prepared for load shedding this winter in Germany.
Yes.
Yeah, that's Florida. The foolishness here during that time was on 10. Okay, we should have allowed President Zuma to go through with his nuclear energy plan back in 2014. Yeah, somebody said DeSantis is crazy. Yep, somebody said Martha's Vineyard. Man, he said if he stayed petty, he ain't got to get petty. Oh, that's crazy.
They go low, I've been low.
Yeah, they go low, they go see me there like this.
Stay low. What a man.
There was a new bus in DC the same day Ramaphosa visited. Oh, that's right. We could talk about that briefly. Ramaphosa visited Lord have mercy, not George. What's his man name? Joe Biden. On the 16th, I believe. They had their meeting. So I think number one on the agenda should have been energy. Like that has to be the number one conversation. If he needs to walk away, first of all, I don't really like that power dynamic, like he has to go there seeking something from the United States, right? However, if he was seeking something from the US, that conversation should have been on energy, mainly how to deal with the crisis that's going on as it relates to load shedding. So that was I saw some stuff on Twitter, man. They was going in like Twitter is vicious. And they was like saying Ramaphosa needs to step down now. He needs to step down now. Mr. President, Mr. Joe Biden, this man does not speak for us. I was like, what he did? I don't know. Did he do something? Somebody let me know. Yes, Sister Adrienne, you pronounced my name correctly. Lungile. Lungile. Oh, I'm sorry. Lungile. Tell him to support Melody. Man, y'all gonna get a kick out of me trying to read these names. Ma'am, or Mame? M-A-M-E.
I would say mom.
Sundowns. Okay. Just the Sundowns. You gonna report the Sundowns. They need to embrace nuclear energy. Like I just said to kill that woman, he beat the system. Y'all want to know a story about OJ? About from my past? I'll tell you. When OJ was on trial, when I graduated high school, it was 33 Black people in my class of 333. It was All the rest were white. Well, maybe about 2 or 3 Asian people, but the vast majority were white. It was 33 Black people. And it was a tense time, to say the least, because the trial got very racialized. You know, we know OJ killed that woman. We know that, right? And I think most Black people at the time knew, you know, that old glove trick, that ain't fool nobody, OJ. But it was like, I hate to say it, it was just like we needed to win one, right? Or we felt like we needed to win one. And in retrospect, it seemed wrong, right? If he murdered somebody, he should be in jail. But it had become so racialized, and like white people on one side and Black people on one side, and all of the political talking heads were just going at it, and you would hear Black people defending OJ and saying that the evidence is, you know, is not clear, blah, 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 blah. So when he was found not guilty, I'd actually go into the bathroom out of like class, like, and we used to have this thing called Channel 1 News. And I don't know if y'all know who Lisa Ling and a lot of these people on Channel 1 News ended up being on like CNN. So the verdict was getting ready to be announced. I go to the bathroom, I come back, and it's like 15 Black people running down the hall. Not guilty! Not guilty!
That's terrible.
It was like, you know, it was so sad in many ways that you think about it, but that was like the first Black victory of that generation. And that's sad. I don't know else how to describe it, because that's what people were running around like, yeah, you could see, go back to YouTube, you could see footage of the day that he was found not guilty. And there's like Black men in barbershops, not guilty. Yeah, like it was like this, like a football team that just scored. Right?
That's so bad.
Crazy. All right. Let me see. Anybody want to jump in here? Let me put this thing back in this in here. Paste. I really want to talk to my SA family today. Ain't nobody jumped on. All right. Thank you guys so much for the daily laughs. Tesla has already been here. Our government wanted 30% of his company, and so Elon said no. Assalamu alaikum, Blackfish. Your son can get into rugby as a substitute for the NFL. We are tough on our public servants. Ryan Posa must know that we are watching. That's an outright lie. Tesla is in SA partly because of the 40% tax on EV imports and low demand. Powerball wasn't competitive either. Yeah, so isn't Elon from Pretoria? Like Elon Musk, he's from South Africa, either from Pretoria or Joburg or right in that area. But I think when Sandili took us to Pretoria, he pointed out that man's school. He said that boy went to that high school right there.
He did point to school.
And so I don't know that there's not a Tesla factory here in SA. I guess they're saying it's not, but you know, that seems like something that maybe would be fire. You know, it seemed like it created some jobs or something like that. You know, so no, we don't know that.
Didn't know what?
I don't know what you're saying, Miss PLC.
No,
my wife. Yeah, my wife thinks that Adrienne is expecting a baby that true brother Asad.
Absolutely not.
Don't wish that stuff on us, man. We struggling over here. Man, you know how old we are?
Right. Nah.
And I'm 43. I'm 43. I'm just trying to get the 2 that I got to 18. So I can reclaim my life, reclaim my time.
I want my life back.
I want to reclaim my time. Yeah. Nah, son. It's alleged OJ's adult son did. And I did hear that theory that it was, I think his name is Jason. I don't know. That his son actually killed the people and OJ took the rap for it. I don't know. But, you know, hey, OJ wasn't like no black superhero. He wasn't down with the cause or nothing. You know what I'm saying? He said, OJ said, I'm not black, I'm OJ. That's what Jay-Z got that line from. And I'm not black, I'm OJ. So I ain't no big old OJ fan. When they locked him up for stealing his own stuff, I said, well, now what you get? Oh, he abandoned us. No Tesla here. Oh man. Real talk, you look under family for it. Thank you, man. Thank you, What can I say? Tesla will come as soon as we have enough money to buy their cars. If he thinks that we are beneath him, man, we don't mind. You are at home now, bro. This thing's happen. Yeah, so I'm trying to figure out the money to buy their cars. See, that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel that I understand that there's some income inequality in that set. But y'all gotta expect, listen, I do experiments every time I'm driving. And I see a Maserati pass me, I speed up. If I could catch it. If I could catch it.
The Honda.
Because the Honda ain't got no get up. But if I could catch it, I look to see who's driving. And I've been so surprised so many times. It's been black women, black men, or at least those who I perceive as black. It might be colored people, right? But I did it today. That's why Maserati ain't no car that I automatically think of. I saw Maserati today, and I said, I got to see who's driving this. I pulled up. Thank God for the robot being out and the man up there doing this. And I said, I looked over and it was a sister. She had her hair pulled back and she had a brown hat on. That's how detailed. I know it was a sister. She wasn't light skinned to where I could be like, I don't know, she might be Italian. No, that was a sister. You see what I'm saying? I've seen Range Rovers, Mercedes Benz,
Ferrari dealership,
Ferraris, right? So I don't know how much a Tesla costs, but if they can, there's a Bentley dealership here. If people can, if Bentley says there's enough money, right? If I don't think so.
Right.
So if Bentley can be here, Tesla could be here. So I don't know how they need to work that out, but I think that would be something fire to work out. Or maybe he could come up with like a Tesla version just for SA, maybe a smaller vehicle or whatever have you. You know what I'm saying? More affordable. I don't know. But then again, he's in the US now. And isn't he like the richest person on earth?
I don't know.
I think he passed up your boy from Amazon. I think he up there with the cake, like he number one. So he's probably on the whole, his mind ain't on no South Africa. He trying to take over the world, like Pinky in the Brain. He not, it's probably, I don't know. I don't know if South Africa is on his mind. I hate to, oh man. It's like he's accessed not only whiteness in the United States, but wealth. As probably ain't no looking back at this point. So, but let's see. There are plenty of German EVs and Kia ones. If it don't fit, you must have quit. Johnny Cochran. What most of them know is that there was a documentary that came out about the serial killer that Nicole's best friend dated, and he admitted to the killings. Brother Asad, how you started? Y'all be over there tomorrow too. Yeah, I gotta be over at Vitch tomorrow. Hope your children are adjusted to South African culture. They're getting to it. I gotta get them some more manners. You know what I'm saying? Like, the waiter is asking them questions. They're like, yes. I'm like, you gotta say yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. I thought I taught them this, but maybe they forgot. I don't know. Teslas aren't good cars though. They're just very cool looking. I don't know. So
I don't know. I was underwhelmed a little. So Uber
has
in the US now has some kind of partnership with Tesla where they rent the cars, right? At like a certain price.
Yeah, $300 some a week.
And so people feel like it's much more affordable to just like rent a Tesla. So we've gotten in our share of Teslas back in the States. But I was just like,
Yeah,
I mean, so real bells. It's just like that fancy computer screen there.
That's it.
Yeah. Like,
like this big old computer screen, and I guess it does a lot. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
fun little play things on the screen.
I think like if electric cars, and they have made a lot of affordable options. But if electric cars really want to get like lion's share of the market, they had to come up with some cool cars, which I saw like the new Camaro or something from Chevrolet, but they had to make them really affordable. And these charging stations need to be everywhere because gas stations are everywhere, right? You know, if you get off the exit on if you exit left, that pretty soon you're going to run into a gas station or a petrol station at some point. Until that happens to that type of energy, electric energy infrastructure is in place, I'm not trying to ride no electric car besides just riding around town, because I'm afraid that if I decide, I think the one guy told us it'll go about 200 miles or 250 miles or something like that. I need to know for sure. See, when that gas get low, I know I need to stop, right? And I guess they have a little battery thing to let them know when the batteries get low, but still, I just don't know. And I don't know if I'm in range, you know what I'm saying, to find a place to charge it up. So I think that holds a lot of people back. It's great if you're gonna get a car just to ride around town, and you know that you can make it to work and back, and you know where all of the little charging stations are. But other than that, and we really need to get away from fossil fuels. We need to get away from burning. All this crazy weather that the world has had. All right, here we go. All right, how you say it?
Pilo? Was it Pilo? Yeah.
Bad. That's my brother though. Can you hear us? We really need to get away from fossil fuels. We need to get away from burning. Can you hear us? The world has had. All right, here we go. All right. How you say it?
Look at you.
Yeah, I can't read no names, but he gotta.
You can't see. You need your glasses on.
You gotta pause yourself so you can hear us, brother.
Yeah, brother Asad.
You gotta pause the YouTube so that you can hear us real time. All right. How you say it? Yeah, I can't read no names, but he gotta.
You can't see. You need your glasses on.
You gotta pause yourself so you can hear us, brother.
Yeah, let me pause myself. Hi, brother Asad. How are you?
What's going on, brother? Can you hear? You gotta pause the YouTube so that you can hear us real time.
Let me see.
No. Unmute yourself. Where you watching us at, you gotta pause.
Yes, can you hear me?
I can hear you now. What's going on, brother? Can you hear?
It's Pielo.
Yeah, you gotta. you gotta. If you watching us on the YouTube,
yeah, I gotta
cut the YouTube off and just be on Zoom. All right, looks like you cut it off. Yeah.
Yes, can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
It's Pielo.
Yeah. Oh, see, it's playing back. you gotta, if you watching us, but type in the chat.
Yeah, I gotta.
Be on Zoom.
Brother Asad, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Sorry, man, I got my squat here, right?
Man, what's going on up, man? What's your name, brother?
Musa.
Musa?
Yes.
Hey, how are you?
Hello.
How old are you?
Say hi, brother Asad.
Hi.
How old are you?
5.
You're 5?
5.
Wow, you a big 5, man. Wow.
Cute.
Well, what grade you in? You in kindergarten?
They call it crash this side, kindergarten, yes.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, let me. I didn't know they
Yeah,
called
no.
crash out.
No, I just wanted to jump in, just connect, So we're just listening, the South African, the South African family is not joining because of load shedding, man.
Oh,
You know what I mean? So luckily I've got an inverter also, I could join in,
I was like,
They
my
ain't
South
angry.
African family done abandoned me. No, I said, load
Yeah,
shedding.
man, they're not angry with you, right? It's just load shedding, man.
Yeah, man, that's crazy, man. I'm trying to let Miss PLC in.
It's awfully dark out.
Yeah, it is pitch. So how long is level 5 and 6 supposed to last?
Brother Asad?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can.
How long is level 5 load shedding supposed to last?
So basically, I've been experiencing something along 2 to 3 hours or so. But I'm not paying attention because I've got like 2 batteries and an inverter here. So it lasts me for quite 4 hours. It does last
Okay.
4 hours.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Man, Miss PLC, I see you. Is she there?
Oh, she froze. Her video froze.
She said her satellite is acting funny on her.
Oh.
But yeah, bro, we gotta get the kids together, man, and get this basketball game on.
Yeah, no. We gotta set up some time and have a game, and we gotta bring Ezekiel, brother Easy.
Yeah.
Along.
Yeah, brother Easy. I call him the plug. He know everybody. Brother Easy know everybody.
Yeah, he's a great guy. Yeah, he's a friend of mine. Well.
Yeah, he definitely, man. He's made my transition pretty easy. I know I got somebody I could call who could who the plug.
Yeah, but on the load shedding, there's South Africa, just to share, there's 2 I think it's battery storage, or they call it energy storage in the US. There's 2 companies that are appointed. One is from Korea, the South Korea, and the other one is a Chinese company. The news broke out about 2 months ago. So they will be building a 2 battery storage farm yard of something like about 1,144 megawatts, right? Hour. So it's coming. So the delivery for that is about 9 months. This is the space that I'm in. So there's things that are coming in that space, Yeah.
Good.
Unfortunately, this Eskom maintenance of these coal-powered generation. It's very, very taxing in terms of the current infrastructure. It requires high quality of coal, and they're battling down on the plants. So it's operational, but also I don't want to say there's sabotage into these things, but I must say also there's politics into these things. There's companies that want to transition into the renewables, and I feel also, Eskom, if you look at Eskom in South Africa, it's a very political space, state-owned, there's unions and all of that, and there's also challenges around, the operations itself. If you can just look at the YouTube videos or news around Eskom, so it's one of those but I'm confident that the guys are going on a right strategy here, moving into renewables and getting everybody on board to work on this thing. Yeah,
definitely. I know South Africa gonna get it together. They're not gonna let that last too long.
Yeah.
All right. I see we got changing the narrative here, and it went.
You can just say Kelly. That's fine.
Kelly, that's Kelly, man. Yeah.
She made it easy for you.
You know, I was about to destroy that. Sue.
The fact that you just like will sound it out like that though.
Oh, so man, what's up, Stace?
Hey, yo, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, I got one question for you, man.
What's up?
How has South Africa really been treating you since you relocated, man?
Man, I don't even know how to put it in words, brother. No, honestly, like from a very, very sincere place, we've had this conversation. I've had a conversation with James. That stress that I know that you are familiar with in the United States, that weight, as we once described it. Yeah, I don't have it no more. My wife, as Allah's my witness, you know what I'm saying? Wallahi, right? As Allah's my witness, my wife told me today, she was like, South Africa looks good on you. She was like, I can see the change in your personality and relaxed. And you got to be relaxed because don't let them move fast here now.
Yeah, you're right about that. I can't wait. I can't wait to have that same feeling, man.
Man, I can't wait for you to have it, my brother.
Yo,
you know what I'm saying? So y'all still coming in December?
Oh yeah, ticket is paid for. We gotta just wait out 2.5 months, man.
Man.
December 9th, we fly out. December 10th, we ready to party.
So hey, my boy P say you got Stace must stop worrying about his grill. He must eat. I saw that little thing when he was crying up behind that grill.
I was ready to cry, man. Yeah, but everything is gone now. I come to grips with it. It is what it is. On to bigger and better things, man.
Yeah, man, definitely, man. We can't wait for y'all to get here. Doc is supposed to be coming in December 2. I think that's tentatively the plan. And yeah, man, I'll tell you what, we were in Rosebank today and we were eating at Tasha's. And I looked up, we had this meetup. Maybe about 3 weeks ago. And it was a lot of African Americans there. And I looked up and it was another table, like some of the people that came to the meetup, they were at Tasha's and they just happened, by coincidence. And you could, we jumped up, laughed and talked for a second, but you could just see the relaxation, and I'm not saying that there's no stress in SA, but the stress that my South African family don't know this stress. It's a Black American stress. It's a 400 years of slavery, servitude, Jim Crow, oppression, poor education stress. It's if I walk in the wrong neighborhood, I'm gonna get killed stress. Like we were at what's the name of it? Life.
Yeah. Well, Life Grand.
It's a place called Life. It's a restaurant out in Brother Side. You said you want to stop going to Tasha's, but I lied. I went there today. I went to Tasha's today. I ain't gonna lie, but we were in this place, Life Grand. It's in Cafe? Water. Yeah, Life Grand Cafe or something. Right. It's in Waterfall over by Daruma. I forgot the name of it. But we're sitting there. And it put us like in the mind of maybe Malibu, like a real California vibe, right? Mm-hmm. It's an open air restaurant, not an open air, it's like outside seating, right? And we're sitting down and it's classy, it's nice, it's everything that you would think beautiful, and it's filled with Black people. If I was at a restaurant like that in the States outside of Atlanta, or New Orleans, right? That's going to be a 99.9% white place. And I'm going to walk into that space and I'm going to be very aware of my Blackness, of my positionality in the United States. And they may never say anything that's unwelcoming. You just know that you're in their space. Yeah. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There, yesterday we was eating and I'm just like, man, my kids got up to go to the bathroom. This seems so crazy, but they got up to go to the bathroom and I didn't worry. Not that I didn't worry that someone would snatch them. I'm always worried about that, but I'm not worried that they're going to be out of place in this space.
Like someone will judge them harsh.
That someone's going to judge them because they're young and black.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And
I was thinking so many, we meet new people every day, and South Africans, so many of them are like, man, I want to go to the States. And I was sitting there.
You had my spot.
But I was sitting there thinking, this is what you would see.
Yeah.
Like if you went to some of the nicer parts of the US, like this is exactly what you would experience, except it would probably look whiter. But I'm like, you got to experience it. I can't tell you.
Just today in Rosebank, a sister told us, oh, my son, he wants to go to the US on holiday. And she was a black Muslim sister. I think she was, I don't know where she was from, but she wasn't from SA. But I'm like, you don't really fathom, you don't understand what you're saying, right? Because the propaganda is not racist. When they put that propaganda out to the rest of the world, it's not color specific. So it seems like anybody and everybody can go there, have a great time. It's the land of milk and honey. It's the land of wealth and all that good stuff. And then when you go there and that whether it's overt or covert racism hits you, then you realize. Go read that book. What's your girl? Isabel Wilkerson. And she tells a story about a Nigerian man who moved to the United States and how he was just, hey, next thing you know, not only did he have like mental health problems like depression and stuff, he also started having physical health problems. You know what I'm saying? I done messed around and lost some weight here, man.
That's good. I need to hurry up and get there then. That damn sure can afford to lose some weight.
I can lose about 15 more. I can lose about 15 more.
You said it was some big white folks. How big are they?
Hey man, they looking you in your eyes. Yeah, y'all, if y'all don't know Stacy he about 6'11", and no, real talk, Stacy, how tall are you?
6'7".
6'7". Yeah, he ain't no guy. Yeah, this ain't no little bitty man that y'all looking at right there. That's a big old tall somebody. But yeah, the white people over here, they ain't American white people. They like Iowa white people. They like North Dakota white people. But the rest of America, yeah, they know. You looking up to them.
Hey, yo, but to piggyback on what you were saying as far as being uncomfortable, man, like I'm in Baltimore right now. And you know the Baltimore rep. Yeah. You know, when I'm sitting on the porch and like every vehicle that passed by and slows down, I'm looking at it like, you know.
Who is that? Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And why we got to live like that, though?
Yeah. Well, that's what my South African family is telling me, though. And they don't understand how programmed we are. Like that, you ain't talking about white stuff. You talking about black people. Yeah, you talking about being on the head swiveling for somebody who may do you something like that. And so when I did a video the other day saying that I went to the sporting goods store asking if they sold guns, right? That's naturally, that's just an American thing to do. And then, they were laughing like that's so American of you, but we've been programmed. They don't understand. Like you have to think like this. You have to think defensively because we come from environments where if you don't, you die.
You die, yeah. I was telling Losey about that. I was on a live a few days ago talking to Losey, and I told Losey, man, when the cops get behind us, man, we get a little nervous. And all we doing, not even speeding, not doing anything. We get a little nervous because we don't know if we're gonna go back home.
Right, exactly. Let me see. I see Kelly jumped on here, bro. Let me see what Kelly talking about. Kelly, you changed your name on me, Kelly. You ain't gotta leave, brother. Stay.
That is too funny. Well, I had my Zulu lesson this morning, so I'm feeling like I'm bilingual, but I'm really not. So I'm feeling, I'm feeling like like I did a little something today. It was hard. So no, me. I just always just come in every once in a while, say hello.
Definitely, man.
I hope y'all are well. Hi.
Are you ready for that wedding?
Yeah, I mean, it's ready as I don't know. It's a lot. Honestly, it's a lot. I always heard it was a lot. It's a lot. So I think the most we can do, anybody can do leading up to a big event, is just taking it, it's a day at a time. I mean, honestly, that's all I can do. So, it's cool. We're getting everything together. I have a couple meetings next week. So that's just where we at,
Kelly, my wife told me I need to reach out to you. She may send you an email. I'm trying to put this panel together. It's the truth.
Okay.
I'm trying to put this panel together, and I may need your expertise.
At the university?
Say it again.
At the university or here?
Yeah, it's going to be for the university.
Oh yeah, sure, of course. I'm always like, I'm super laid back.
What is the topic?
The midterm elections and the implications for the continent of Africa with a kind of a specific eye on South Africa, but we definitely want to be continental in the conversation.
Okay.
So
I'll do my best.
Definitely. So I'll reach out. I think my wife has your email. I'll definitely reach out.
Yeah, she does. She have my email. She have my number. She got everything. She know how to get
right.
Oh, okay.
He thank you. So I have to reach out. So I'm glad you jumped on it. We took care of that.
All right, cool, good. We squared them.
Talk soon, Kelly.
Miss PLC, what's happening? You all right? Oh no, she done froze.
Brother here jumped up too.
Yeah, all right, Miss PLC done froze. 972
388 4827.
He done jumped off the camera. Let me ask unmute.
Phone number. Oh, hello.
Unmute yourself, brother. If you could. I'm gonna ask him to unmute. All right. 972. You want to jump back on camera?
Okay. Let me see.
Damn, there you go. Bam, bam, bam. Just like that.
Okay, yeah. Hey, Dr. Asad and Adrienne.
What's going on, brother? How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. How you guys doing over there?
Man, I can't complain. I'm doing well.
Man, listen, I'm in Atlanta, Georgia right now.
ATL, Shawty?
All right.
But the 972 though, that's Dallas. I lived in Dallas like 20 years, Dallas, Texas.
Oh, yeah.
But I was born in Botswana.
Okay.
Which is the neighboring country to South Africa.
True. Yes.
And then I spent a few years of my early years in South Africa. So very much aware of what is going on in South Africa and very much part of the South African culture.
Mm-hmm.
So I am so proud of you guys. I am so,
oh man, thank you.
Listen, I'm so happy. And I wish I was there to be part of what is, coming up. Something good is springing up from African-American community reaching out to Africa. But I'm just gonna put a few more years, make sure that 401k is building up the retirement fund. I'm coming back.
That's right. You gotta get what you can out of that system.
Hey, do what you gotta do, brother.
I am coming back, and I want to be part of what is going on there. What you all are doing back there in Africa. I want to come back and build with you guys.
Yeah, definitely. Well, you are in one of the best places in the United States, Atlanta, at least for Black people. I know there's a lot of stuff going on out there. And you came from another good place, Dallas, where my brother lives. So yeah. So you've been in the right places to make that money. I know you're getting it. I know you're getting it.
We're trying to build a little bit,
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. And look, and that's what we need to do. Somebody made this great argument about how they extracted wealth from Africa when they took all of these Black Africans and enslaved us. And now we have the opportunity to extract wealth from them and put it back in the continent by coming back with those 401ks. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So brother Asad.
Yeah, brother.
Brother Asad, I just want to test drive the brother with Setswana a bit.
Dumela ra. Hey, kunjani mfwe.
Munna jabuwa munna ki wasutu munna.
Ubwazi soto, kile lemi la kale yoma.
Jaiti munna. Ujwa munna signal intate kamera.
Man, listen, man. My brothers are lost right now. They don't hear anything you say, man.
Yeah. No, thank you, brother Asad. You know, I was just this. Setswana, people of Botswana, we have Setswana in South Africa.
Definitely.
So Southern was like one thing, So
yes, definitely.
We can speak, Setswana. If you're from Botswana, you speaking it's the same as Sesotho. Sotho,
yes.
made in the Limpopo, It's one of the same things.
Well, if you can still hear us, man, you gotta hook me up with your Zulu teacher, your teacher. I need to learn me some of these languages so that I can be participating. All I know is Yebo.
Right.
No, you good. That's good.
She's amazing. I'll be more than happy to connect you. I'm always pro, learn a little something. You don't have to, get up to an expert level, but I think I'm always an advocate of at least knowing how to greet, how to do, certain stuff. I think it does help. So yeah, I'll be glad to connect you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Miss PLC fell off again. I tried to get to there she go. Miss PLC, you back?
I'm back. I'm having bandwidth problems.
Is it because of load shedding?
Yeah, it's this. I'm on a satellite, so the people were supposed to come out Friday, and because of load shedding, they couldn't get in because you couldn't do anything. So they'll be out hopefully tomorrow. But my satellite, this is messing up my satellite. This is like usually I don't have a problem with it. This is the first time I've had this problem. So the bandwidth and it's really crazy and aggravating.
Oh man. So how you been? Other than that, with the load shedding?
Been doing well. I have no complaints. It's a little cool down here, but we bought all our higher weather clothing. So it's like people are going around saying, it's cold, and we
lost her. Or did we lose everybody? Don't look like nobody moving.
Oh wow.
Oh, they back. They back.
I see some movement happening.
All right, we lost you for a second, Miss Spears. I think that was on our end this time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think that was on our end.
I was saying, go to Durban. If you have not been to Durban, go. It's very. I really do like Durban. So it has its own flavor. It has a really diverse community, but it's got Krito Matwa museum there. And if you don't know, I think I sent you Indaba My Children. So there's a lot of things there you can go see that will really interest you and your family and everything else. So Durban's a good place.
I'm going. That's it. Miss PLC said we going, I'm going. I'm going to Durban to cut up. And I heard they got good Indian food. That's all that I really need to know.
Adrienne, how are you doing with getting all the stuff you need? Sheets, pillowcases, and all that stuff for your house. How are you doing?
We're doing well. We're stocked up. We have everything we need. So we're settled in.
Good.
Settled in good.
We're all settled in.
It's been a blessing finding places like Game, Mackerel, Pick and Pay, Woolworths, and then it's hard not to get the stuff you need in Johannesburg. You just go to the mall, everything is, you don't just pick a mall, just like this. And then go have
just the mall, shopping centers too.
Yeah, we live in Lone Hill, and there's a shopping center not too far from us, and it's everything you need in there. Everything. So yeah, it's hard not to get the stuff you need, so we settled in pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
She's back. She is.
I'm back again.
Yep. So we settled in pretty good. Oh, changing the narrative dropped off. He must have had to go.
Yeah. He said his goodbyes before.
Oh, he did? I didn't hear him. Well, let's take some comments. I know we fall down on the comments. You been keeping up with them?
Slightly. Denzel said he's planning on returning to SA.
What? I see it. Denzel, come home. Come home. You gotta say it like that, like you about to break down and cry. You guys seem to know or not, so share the proof. Yeah, I don't know what code. They be arguing and stuff. Right. Columbus or Robert Polite must know you, Miss PLC. Robert, there's a guy named Robert Polite. He said Columbus, Ohio, in the house. So,
No.
She gone.
Or he's just from Columbus and it's just a coincidence.
Oh, maybe so. Maybe he was just shouting himself out. Greetings from Sao Tome and the principal. No, I don't say principal. Principal to the couple. Shout out. What's that? That's why I just ignored him, because he's been opposing everything we say about our country. He only wants to spoil the mood.
That has nothing to do with what we're talking about.
Who's trying to spoil the mood? Let's get rid of him. Who's trying to spoil the mood? Y'all tell me who it is. Denzel said, I'm coming home, family. That's right. Come on.
Okay, look, folks, I'm leaving. Y'all take care. Blessings to all of you. Take care.
So much,
see you the next time.
All right, Ms. Beals, thank you so much for joining.
Good night.
Thank you, you too.
All right. Hurry, I got the live.
Well, Denzel, how long is it going to take you to get home?
Yeah.
Are we talking about like in 2 or 3 years? In a couple of months?
Y'all tell me who was making it bad in the comments, if they out there, because we don't want no negativity. And don't entertain the negativity, family. Ignore them. Well, you know what we need? We need moderators to go through and be like, I saw that on somebody else's live. They had moderators. They were like, oh, the brother got his hand raised. Oh no, that's my hand. Oh, I don't know if they do that for free.
Valeria, hello.
Hey, where's the Zoom link? Somebody want the Zoom link. Let me put it in the thing for you.
Goodness.
Let me put the Zoom link in the thing. I guess load shedding must be over.
He's about 2 years.
2 years? Well, that's
it'll go by fast though. That's how long it took us.
Yeah. And that's about how long it take to make that move back. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how long it take. Let me see. Oh. Where's?
Oh, right there. Right there.
Oh, okay.
Drop the link.
There the link go. Bam. Load shedding must be over. I thought my family had left me out here bad. At home is a good place. Wait, what they saying? Hold on. At home is a good place for homeware, for everyday basic stuff. More luxurious. You could try Stutterford.
Yeah, I mean, there's no shortage of like home decor places here.
All right, somebody say, I have to go, family. Have a great evening. Well, have a good one, family. Coldplay is spoiling the mood. That's fine, Coldplay. What Coldplay is saying is, y'all let me know. Yes, I miss you guys. Oh.
Chicago, geez.
She was in a Chi-Town. Be careful out there.
That's what they say.
Be careful.
So where you're at in Chicago.
Yeah, be careful.
Chicago's the same.
Yeah, but let me see. Coldplay. What are your sources? Let me see. Because I don't, family, I don't want nobody coming with no negativity now. It's good, honest debate or whatever have you is good, but not no negativity.
Right.
Don't be changing the rule. Tesla trying to bring premium mass market. They're trying to sell 4 cars a year. Plus, they're setting logistics. It's better to have established car makers sell their cars. Okay. Well, if you ain't talking about your mom or nothing like that, I don't know what to do.
Right.
Somebody asked me what the link is. I dropped the link. It should be towards the bottom. Peace and Black Power from CTC family. All right. Now, CTC, where you from, CTC? Is that Cape Town? Or is that across the canal?
Cross the canal.
Because New Orleans got something called Cross the Canal, and we call that the CTC. So either way, we family. What's happening? Let me see. Asad, see you in Limpopo. All right.
Okay.
Greetings from the stage. What 6 p.m. to infinity?
Okay.
Oh, somebody call.
Emmanuel.
That's my son name.
Middle.
Yeah, middle name. All right, Emmanuel, you there? Can you hear us?
Yes, sir. What's up? What's
going on, brother? How you doing?
I'm doing all right, man. I'm doing all right. Thank you for adding me for this meet and greet, you know. I hope you guys are doing well.
We are doing well. That's your call right there? What kind of call that is?
Nah, man, it's not mine. It's not mine. It's just the profile picture.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
I was trying to figure out it's like a spaceship or something.
Nah.
So, bro, what part of town? You live in Josie or Cape Town? What part I say you at?
I live in Pretoria.
Shout out to Pretoria. Yeah, you right up the street.
Yeah. When I guess
told you, y'all. I'm sorry, Emmanuel. Listen.
All right.
When I said, she said CTC family, she said peace and black power from CTC family. I thought, I was asking, did she mean Cape Town? And I said, because in New Orleans we have crossed the canal. She said, cross the canal. I'm trying to tell you, that's New Orleans people right there. What's happening? Jump on the live. Tindaja. Oh no, that's a dude. That's a dude. I saw that he got dreadlock. I thought it was jump on the live, brother. Yeah. But go ahead, Emmanuel. I'm sorry.
Yes, sir. Like I was asking, like when are you guys coming to Pretoria to do a vlog? Maybe around Main Lane or something like that.
Man, you know what? We're gonna make our way out there. Yeah, we've been to Pretoria maybe twice. Definitely said Dilly took us around and showed us our partner saying that I say it like everybody know him, but he took us around and I mean all over Pretoria, really. Took us to the Brooklyn Mall. Is there a Brooklyn Mall or something like that?
Yeah.
And then he showed us the president's house or the house with the garden in front of it, like you know what I'm talking about?
Buildings. Yeah.
Yeah, he took us there. Then he took us to a place by a mountain where you could look out and see kind of over Pretoria. I mean, we were all around there, so we definitely will return and kind of do a vlog or something. Maybe in the next couple of weeks or something.
Yeah, that might be nice.
You know?
Do you have recommendations for things we need to see?
Yeah.
Not much really. Like just anything that you guys might wanna watch. There is Fountain Hills here. There are a lot of like tourist attraction areas that you can visit there.
Yeah, we do need to get to Pretoria again. It's been a while.
Yeah.
So
you know what? Somebody just mentioned like Namibia having great opportunities for African Americans. Do y'all know about this Eastern Confederation or something that's about to happen? The East Africa Confederation? It's like 7 countries are supposed to come together. I think it's like Kenya, Tanzania. It's like 7 countries. I can't remember them, but they're supposed to come together to form one like new country. Did y'all hear about that?
No.
I did hear something about that, but I don't know how factual that is, to be honest. Or maybe like I'm not exactly sure. I've seen it though. I've seen it a few times. The only thing that I can think about with like East African countries or like North and South African countries, Southern African countries coming together are like the trading blocks. So you know, like the EAC, it has like East African community is made up of like Uganda, Tanzania, Kenya, and then you have like COMESA, which includes like East Africa, a little I think Egypt and Southern Africa as well, but that's for like trade. So I did hear something about them coming together, but I didn't like really investigate it because I was like, oh, what's this? And I just kept scrolling. So if anyone has any more information about
Kelly, I'm going to send you some articles because I was like skeptical at first. Someone sent it to me in the email. Like they sent this, shout out to the sister. She sent me a whole bunch of information on the workings and goings on around the continent. And when I got to that particular one, I then said, let me fact check, because I've never heard of this, it doesn't seem right. So I Googled it and I said, okay, let me see something reliable, a CNN article that makes me feel better, because not that CNN is necessarily the most reliable thing, but there was several articles from reliable sources that are saying that this thing is supposed to happen. It's behind, check out those. It's behind schedule, but they have agreed that Swahili will be the official language of the new federation, and that
based in Tanzania.
The head will be in the Arusha, Tanzania. Like, this is like something that's happening. And one of the articles, I think it was from International Business, was saying like this will be undoubtedly a new superpower, economic superpower, because whether they have the military or not, but they will be a new economic superpower on the world stage. And I was like, wow, that is amazing. If it comes into fruit, go ahead, sir.
I was gonna say, do you know, like, is it backed by like the African Union? Like, who do you know, like, who's playing? Because I keep seeing it. I think everyone, I in my mind, right? If you kind of like Google like African stuff, or how the algorithm works, I think people have probably seen it at least one time, right? But I just I don't know like anything about it. Like, is it backed by the AU, or I know you said the headquarters is supposed to be out of Tanzania.
Arusha, Tanzania, yeah.
Tanzania. Do you like that's interesting, but I did hear about it, and obviously somebody's serious about it. If people kind of keep talking about it, but I just haven't, like, I don't know much more.
So here are the countries: it's Kenya, Tanzania, Uganda, Dr. Congo, Rwanda, Burundi. No, that ain't 7 though. It was, but those were some of the countries that I read. And he said the East African Community is what it's called. Yeah, the EAC, the East African Community, and it's moving to one passport. And right now, it's one visa is good for all. So,
economic union.
Yeah, but it's an economic union. But they said they're gonna have one currency, right? That's gonna be throughout these 7 countries, and like I want to say
South Sudan. That's right.
South Sudan, right? Sudan. And we'll have one president.
Okay.
All right.
That would be awesome.
That's what I'm saying. And the reason why I brought that up is like it would be nice to see Namibia, Eswatini, Southern Africa create a block like that, like one passport, one currency, one president. That would be fine, depending on how it benefits the nations, But Galaxy Tab A, can you hear us? Is he on? Galaxy Tab. Hello? Let me see. I can't hear.
Apparently there's some trouble.
Yeah, now where Losey went? I saw Josie. Where Losey went?
Losey was on. Losey dipped off.
Now Josie joining. They might be the same people.
No, they've been on a call at the same time before.
It might be load shedding. Load shedding killing everybody, boy. So let me see Josie go. He's still joining. There you go. I know he about to come and tell me about this federation. Yeah, he about to tell me because Josie been knowing stuff. Oh man,
he knows.
He do. He's a smart brother right there. Hold on 1 second, fam. I got to go off camera for 1 second. We can still hear everybody. I'm going off for 1 second. Josie, go. Oh, you still connected. Josie. Josie?
Yeah, can you hear me?
What's happening, my brother?
I'm good, and you? How you guys doing?
Man, good. Long time no hear or see, man. Well, I can't see you now. You always off camera, Josie. I think you and Lowe's
I'm
are the
on
same
camera.
person. You on camera?
Yeah.
I
Look,
can't see you.
it must be the load shedding.
That's that low shit. The low shit. Josie, you know about this East African community thing?
I've heard about it. I've been on panels where East Africans were talking about it. On panels where East Africans were talking about it in terms of them like coming together and speaking the same language, like in terms of like promoting Kiswahili and a whole East African bloc. I heard the Congo was joining that as well.
Yeah.
But I think they're trying to make Kiswahili like not just an East African thing, but the whole continental thing. Look, I don't want to lie to you guys. That's going to be very difficult to like implement. So, but it sounds like a good idea because
it does sound like
if you listen to South African languages and you listen to Kiswahili, you'll notice that there are a lot of similarities. But in most cases, but the way people are, everyone's going to want their language. So it's going to be a difficult thing. The only reason why we're speaking English right now is because we were forced to speak English.
Yeah,
I think that's something that we need to take into consideration. So it's not an easy thing to implement.
Definitely, bro. I feel you. I feel you. I see low before we.
It's not an easy thing to
Josie,
implement.
I know you gonna give us some knowledge.
But I think people need to take that into consideration. Like, it's gonna be difficult to just ask people, look, you need to speak this language or that language. People had to be forced to speak languages. So I don't.
Josie, we lost Josie. Oh, somebody blowing their nose. Galaxy, we hear you blowing your nose. Afrinola, we gotta stop. We got a New Orleans in the house. Afrinola, what's happening?
Oh wait.
I gotta unmute you. I gotta unmute Afrinola. Where he at? Right here. I'm gonna ask to unmute. There you go.
There it is. There we go. There we go. That was me. Look,
you hear that?
That was me left a comment in there, Tendaji. You hear me? When I say
from about the
Canal.
CTC. So, I told them people I did that. They thought I was playing when I said when I hear CTC, I think Cross the Canal, not not Cape Town, but it could be one or the other. So what's happening, brother?
Yeah.
You still in the city?
It's all good. Yeah, I'm here. I just moved to Atlanta recently, but I'm down here working. I got a trucking company, so I'm down here in the city working. But man, look, I run across y'all on YouTube through I think it might have been who that was. Maybe that was y'all was in South. Y'all was I think y'all was at dinner. Y'all went out to dinner or something. With the family from Rwanda. Was that Unapologetic Nomads?
Yeah.
I think that's how I found out about y'all. But I say, look, it's great. I say, we got some people with flavor going out, and they're gonna represent us well. So I was good to see that we got people from New Orleans traveling. You know what I'm saying? Successful. I saw y'all video where y'all, was moving out y'all house, and that was really emotional and all that. So love to y'all for that. When y'all spoke about the East African community, I heard about it. I'm not sure, maybe it's a new iteration of they updating it and trying to make some progress and moving forward. But like the sister said, I heard that, or maybe it just started off as a trading block and they're trying to actually make it more, make it have some more real benefits now, maybe. I think that'll be powerful. And of course, we know the developing it is not going to be easy in implementing those things, but I think it'll be powerful. Hold up, bro. Hold up, brother. Hold up. I think.
Let me mute Josie. I think Josie was talking to somebody. All right, go ahead. I'm sorry, brother.
Yeah, man. I'm myself. I am interested in leaning towards checking out more of East Africa, although I, of course, want to visit all around. I'm not able to travel just yet, but soon come.
Soon
come,
I
definitely want. Yeah. So, man, look, I appreciate y'all having me on, and I like the conversation here.
No doubt, big brother, man. It's been a minute. We left the city long time ago, because we went to Houston for a while, so it's been a long time since I heard the accent. You know what I'm saying? So I just needed it.
Yeah. And I saw
Yeah,
y'all video
so
about load shedding. I ain't check it out yet, but I'm gonna go check it out. You know what I
yeah,
mean, and get all that good information, because a lot of what I noticed was not everything, but there's many things that we, I might see somebody explain or experience and go through in one country that might relate to other countries. So we able to take this information and kind of be ahead of the game when we come and start visiting the continent, regardless of which country we visit.
facts. But well, I appreciate you for jumping on, man. Like, now, what part of the city you from?
My family, my daddy's side from Uptown, and my mama's side from across the canal.
Okay, that was CTC. All right, for sure. I tell
Yeah.
people that New Orleans, and I think you'll understand this, New Orleans is probably, besides maybe the Geechee and Gullah Islands, the most African place in the United States. I think they heard that from me a lot. But this ain't probably the first time seeing you. Do you agree with that statement or not?
That's 100% true. And sometimes I think, especially as youngsters, sometimes we don't even know it. Like it's a lot of things we do that's straight up African, right? But we don't know it. We might try to contribute it to the Indian, heritage or whatever else. But it's things we do in our everyday, from pouring libation to the food we eat. We say words, don't know what they mean, gumbo and all this, and not realizing, not making the conscious connection to the continent. You know what I mean? With a lot of the stuff we do, from our food to some of the things, the way we speak, and a lot of things that happen in our history, and we don't even know why we're doing it. We just call it New Orleans culture. So because of our history, with the French, and also where New Orleans is situated in the country, and the importance of that port, and how easy it was for them to, once the English stopped their trade of enslaved Africans, it was an intra-American thing. So New Orleans was like the center of sending people to the Caribbean and people from the Caribbean coming to New Orleans, etc. So New Orleans, we retained a lot of that, and like you say, as well as the Gullah. I don't know too much about them, but I know that if you're from New Orleans, it's definitely a reason to make a connection to the continent.
Facts. Congo Square, our prison called Angola, all that. Yeah, this is just who we are. And you said it best. We think it's New Orleans culture without realizing New Orleans culture is rooted in the African continent. Our funeral processions, right? All that's rooted in West African culture, to be particular, to be specific. Yeah. But yeah, man, brother, thank you for jumping on. I see we got somebody else, Jada, and we'll come back to Josie Gold. Jada, like that's the Jadakiss. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna ask him to unmute.
Hello?
Jada.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now, big brother. What's going on?
Hey, Doc, how y'all doing, man? How you and your wife? We're actually right next door from where y'all left, man. We're in Houston.
H-Town.
It's there. So the reason why I was calling in, first of all, let me apologize. I'm driving, so it's kind of rude to call in, but I was trying to get in contact with y'all because my family and I will be over there right towards the end of October. I was wondering if there's a way we can get in contact with y'all. If I can give you my email or send me your email, and we'll definitely try to look y'all up when we're down there. We'll be over there for about 2 weeks.
My name
check it out. So,
is Asad El Malik, and my Gmail is Asad, my name, ELMALIK at Gmail. And I answer my emails all the time.
All right, we'll definitely shoot you an email after the show. But yeah, y'all have a blessed time, and I want to say hi to all my brothers and sisters on there. Africa is where it's at. Let's go home. Let's go home and make it happen, man.
Facts.
I want to thank you.
Facts. Let's go home.
I want to thank you for what y'all did. It was very motivating to move back down to Johannesburg, and I see so much joy in you and your beautiful wife, and you guys are so excited, and that's how it's supposed to be. That's what life is supposed to be. Or that's how it's supposed to be lived, you know, because out here, man, it's a matrix, and you know, so it's great to be back home. I'm glad to see y'all back there, and you know, living your fullest life.
I'm living my
That's
best
pretty
life.
much it. That's it.
Facts, man.
We look forward to meeting y'all when we get down there. Next
Man,
month.
please do, man. Again, it's Asad El Malik at gmail.com. Hit me up. Josie,
right,
you
Doc.
still
Okay,
there?
thank you.
No time, no problem. Josie. Oh, Emmanuel got his hand raised. I'm sorry.
I'm right
Josie,
here.
Emmanuel got his hand raised. Let me say, I'm sorry, Emmanuel. I've been running my mouth and I ain't paying no attention. You still there, Emmanuel?
Yes, Asad, I'm still here, my brother.
I apologize, brother. I got to,
No worries,
running
brother. No worries. Like I have a quick question. You say New Orleans is the most African city in the US, and like I've heard that Texas actually has more Black people in the whole of the United States. I don't know if ever
So let me put it to you like this, brother. Texas is a big old place. It's a big old place. Like Texas could be a country by itself, right? So they probably do have a lot of Black people, but they probably got 5 times more Mexicans, and that's facts, and they probably have a lot more white people. When I say New Orleans is the most African place, I'm not talking about population. We're not talking about numbers. I'm talking about culturally, right? The first of all, pre-Katrina, New Orleans was 68% Black, so it was a Black city. Like it was no doubt about it. It was Katrina that brought us down to about 60% Black, right? But our culture, the food we eat, jambalaya comes from jollof, right? West African jollof, right? And jambalaya is a major dish in New Orleans. Gumbo comes from West Africa, right? Okra, that's what it really means. And we created gumbo out of that, or we made gumbo out of it. Every Sunday, today's Sunday, in New Orleans right now, if Alfred Nola passed by Congo Square, he gonna see Black people out there drumming and dancing. African, and we think that's just New Orleans culture, but that's directly rooted in our West African. So New Orleans culturally is what I mean. Like it's things that you can point to and say that comes directly from Africa. The way we dance at our funerals, or the way we have our funerals, carrying caskets through the streets, you could point and say that comes directly from Africa. So I mean, culturally, it is. So numbers wise, New Orleans small. New Orleans ain't hit 400,000 people. You know what I'm saying? The city itself, metropolitan area, maybe 1 million. So it's a small city, but in that small city, there's so much that you can just see that is influenced by the continent. And it's partly because there's this great documentary on Buddy Bolden, who was basically the godfather, the father of jazz. And there's this white man from Lincoln Center talking, and he says, here in the United States, here in New Orleans, he was talking about New Orleans, after they stopped importing slaves, New Orleans was the only place in the United States that Africans had a day off. They had Sunday off, and they were allowed to congregate on Sunday, and they were allowed to practice their native rituals, whether it be, so that's why in New Orleans, you hear people talk about, oh, they got voodoo in New Orleans. Well, voodoo comes from like the Ifa and Yoruba people in West Africa. So all of this stuff is because New Orleans had this laissez-faire French leadership or authorities who gave them Sunday off. So it's culturally entrenched in us. And then on top of that, I'm not going to say it's 100%. There's a mixture of the French. There's a mixture of the Native Americans. So you'll see we have Black people who dress up like Native Americans. We call them Indians or Indians, right? Mardi Gras Indians or whatever have you. Why did they do that? Why do they do that? Because these were escaped Africans who were embraced by the Native American communities, who saw like commonality between the African and the Native American. So we pay homage to them. So you see every Mardi Gras or St. Joe night or whatever have you, these people dressed up in these elaborate handmade costume. Culture, man. It's just culture down there that comes from Africa. So that's my argument. Brother Afrinola, you want to jump in on this?
Josie has.
I'm gonna get Josie. I gotta get to Josie. No. Go ahead, Afrinola, go.
Afrinola.
Okay. I'm gonna just say this and I'm gonna hop off. I wanted to say, you know, and I definitely wanted to just congratulate y'all on y'all move, because like I said, I just moved to Atlanta, knowing how stressful that was. Y'all just moved to a whole nother continent. So I just want to say, you know, congratulations on y'all set, you know what I mean? I'm happy for y'all, you know. And
Appreciate
I just
that,
wanted
brother.
to say, like, when the brother called in and said that he was going to be out there and, you know, y'all might link up. I like to see, I want to let people know this is Pan-Africanism in action. You know what I mean? Black people from different parts of the world being able to facilitate processes or enjoyment or whatever based on the fact that we just Black, we just African. And you know, Black people in one part of the world through struggle and through the decades and resistance or whatever, having facilitated a country and laws and whatever else that you can now go to South Africa and take part of based on what the work they put in, and they can come over here or wherever else and do the same thing. So I just want to say, you know, big up Pan-Africanism, and I love to see it. That's it. Peace and black power, y'all.
Thank you.
Thank you, brother. We got 972. He's there.
Yeah, that's me, 972. You got it.
Yeah, what's happening, brother? Look like you turned your camera off.
Oh, okay. Let me. Oh, yeah.
Oh, there you go. There you go. You good?
Yeah. I agree with you 100% with you know, New Orleans having the more traditional African or influence or retain that. That's awesome. Now, would you say that Atlanta is the place where you have a lot of African American people?
Facts. Atlanta is Black Mecca in the United States. And you know, that's hard for me to say because, you know, that's our rival city. Like in the football thing, that's our rival city. So it's hard for me to say, but I just have to tell the truth. Atlanta has the per capita, the most Black millionaires in the United States. They are progressive. They have their troubles, you know, their violence or whatever have you. They're a progressive city. They took a different approach than many other Black-led cities. And they wanted to make sure that they grew a Black middle class and also a Black wealthy class. And they did that. So the first Black mayor, his name was Maynard Jackson. Maynard Jackson was just determined to have Black people get government contracts. So Atlanta built, I think, the busiest airport in all of the world. I think that, yeah, it's the busiest airport in the world. Those runways that the Atlanta has, those were built by Black people. He said if Black people can build driveways, like in front of a house, they can build runways. So he made Black people get those contracts, or he made it so that Black people could get those contracts. You know, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, however long it was. So Atlanta is definitely a place. So how I would compare it to, New Orleans has the most, like New Orleans has maintained like this African identity culturally. Atlanta is Black America's prominence. So it's like two different worlds. You know what I'm saying? Like one world is entrenched in this cultural thing. Atlanta is wealth, it's affluence, it's commerce, it's Black people aspirational. Yeah. So Atlanta probably compares better to Johannesburg than New Orleans would ever compare to Johannesburg.
Awesome. So that's the answer for the my brother who was asking. Texas is big and, you know, wonderful, but it's not the most populated as far as Black people.
Oh,
Atlanta is.
Atlanta's got the Black folk. They doing it too. I give them that.
But I'm getting ready to sign off, and you guys, I'll be there in December. I will see you in Johannesburg. Every time I come over there, I'll be in Sandton for like a few days. But
all right, cool.
Nice.
We'll
definitely,
connect.
brother. Look for you.
Hey,
Appreciate
I
it,
like
brother.
what you're doing. I like your spirit. Keep it up.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate it, man. I thank you for jumping in. Josie,
All right.
my bad, brother. I didn't put you off. I'm sorry. I had New Orleanian on here, so I was, dealing with that.
Yeah, shout out to Afronola. Okay. Look, the whole East African bloc thing. From what I'm hearing, a lot of East Africans, like the one I've spoken to, they speak highly of it. Even if it does work, it could be a good template for the rest of the continent to follow. But other ones like ECOWAS sounds nice, but when I speak to West Africans, they're not really fond of it. Like it has a lot of challenges. It's not there yet. And then the SADC region, which is the region we're in, well, it's also not an easy one to implement. There are a lot of issues in terms of immigration and so on and so forth. But if these,
let me ask you a very straightforward question. Do you think it is a good idea for Southern African countries like Namibia, Eswatini, what else? Botswana,
Zambia, whichever.
To have at least free trade as well as a single passport to make easier for people to move in and out?
Look, in an ideal world, I would say yes. But free trade, I agree with. But the reality is that in Southern Africa, South Africa is basically the economy. Like, it's unfortunate, but it's true. Like, it's their economy. From what I hear from people, even people who come from other countries, it's mostly dominated by South African businesses. So in many ways, you could argue that that is there in a certain way because it's basically dominated by South African industry. But in terms of the whole passport thing, the question is, how's that going to work? It might sound like a good idea, but you see what's happening with the whole immigration crisis is that how are you going to manage that? And also at the same time is that I think we'd have to get to a point where every economy is at the same level economically because it causes problems when certain people are taken advantage of, like say in South Africa and maybe in Botswana and Namibia. So we need to like at least get all of these economies to a certain level first, and then maybe we can talk about that. And also having all the other economies do well, and so that when someone's traveling, they're not desperate. So it causes a lot of issues. So
so someone leaving from what would I understand what you're saying, and then it further like the resources, like it further decimates the resources if each country is not on equal footing. Let me admit, Scott. But in theory, I think it's good, and I think there's some I don't know. Like we hear about this, and I guess we'll see how the East African community begins to work and further decimates the resources if each company. And if it works well, then I'm sure we'll see other people follow suit. If it doesn't, we'll see people stray away from it. Lozy, I see you got your hand up, brother.
Wait, can I just add this quickly?
Go ahead, Joseph.
Look, I think this thing, for something like this to work, it's going to require a lot of progress. It's going to take time. So it's not an easy thing that some people are trying to make it out to be. So I think people need to be patient, very patient, and over time it could happen. And we also need to sort out our own economic issues in other countries as well before all of these ideas can actually happen. So yeah,
definitely, brother. I definitely think so. Lozy.
Oh, good day, brother Asad and Adrienne, the beautiful wife.
How you doing, brother?
And I'm good, and everybody on the panel, greetings, and my friend Josie Gold, what's up, man? Okay, but I agree with what Josie Gold said. Actually, when I called earlier on, I think he took words out of my mouth. I was going to discuss that as well, but I think, brother Asad.
Yes, I get you.
Okay. I think I would like to probably I might go a bit into details because I think both three regions that are discussed here, one being ECOWAS in the west, and then in the east you find the new one that is coming, and then you have got the SADC in the south. Basically, we don't have the central because central was supposed to be DRC, but DRC it's really not stable, so they opt to join the east. And I think the DRC is the biggest player in the East, looking at the future, what might happen, the possibilities. But currently, Kenya is the leading front in economy and strategies. Same with the South. In the SADC, it's basically going to be South Africa. But why it won't happen fast in the SADC is because South Africa is dominating in almost everything, be it population-wise, economy, and all the systems. So basically, even the neighboring countries, their largest exporter is basically South Africa at the moment of goods and trade, overall trade. If you go to ECOWAS in West Africa, I think they started earlier on because they've got, the ECOWAS countries have got passport free at the moment. I think they've done this 6 years ago. I think the biggest problem with ECOWAS is basically economy. So Nigeria is supposed to be the biggest player, but Nigeria is more similar to DRC. The biggest players got more issues, and Nigeria in terms of numbers is just with the gap between Ghana, Senegal, and the rest with numbers. And compared to Nigeria, it's just too much. And I think maybe they scared to completely open up the countries and economy to each other in terms of the imbalance. And what's going to happen in the East, I think the East, many countries that side were attracted to DRC because DRC is the richest country in the world in terms of natural resources. I hope the African leaders execute this so well that I hope the join of DRC and the East was not because DRC has got natural resources that maybe other African countries might be looking forward to take advantage of. I hope they do it so well that it's at the benefit of everyone as they build their systems. But as a whole, Africa is behind with infrastructure anyway. So I think East Africa will lead the way. If it works in East Africa, many African countries will be looking forward to implement this and join in. But in the SADC, it's going to be quite a challenge because right now, Botswana and Namibia are kind of like opening it to each other more. But it makes sense because if you look at the numbers in Botswana, population-wise and their economy, it's more or less very relative. So it makes sense for them to join. But if they were to open up for South Africa now, we basically might dominate them in all aspects because we've got the numbers and basically their system depend on our system. So with that look, I understand. Now you've got Mozambique and Zimbabwe, which are more kind of like the SADC countries that are behind, and Malawi as well. So I think those three, we have to work hard to make those three countries in the economy get at the level of Namibia, Botswana, probably South Africa, Eswatini, and Lesotho. So I think looking at Malawi, Zambia, Mozambique, Zimbabwe, they're slightly behind, but Zambia, it's not really behind far off. So once we get the level of those countries and the economy up, we might join. I mean, we might be looking at more than 50 years. That's why, as Josie Gold said, it's going to be a long distance to really reach a level where we completely open up. The idea works, it's nice, it sounds good, but there's still a lot of work to do. The foundation is there, but we need to start building. We need to prioritize infrastructure and helping countries that cannot really put up the infrastructure right now so that they can catch up as well. But yeah, definitely. I agree with what the East is doing here.
Definitely. I see Kelly raised her hand.
Yes. I don't know where to get started because like so much was said. So I guess I'll first start off by saying that there are multiple economic blocks on the African continent. A lot of the ones that have been brought up so far is SADC, ECOWAS, EAC, but you also have ECOWAS, which includes Central African countries. So a lot of the economic communities, they kind of like overlap for several reasons that I'm not 100% sure of. And so when you think about like the main three, EAC, ECOWAS, as well as SADC, they're just all at different points in their journey to facilitate better trade. But all of them are trading right now. And I think when people like think about trade, that there's like so much that it encompasses. So it encompasses food safety, SPS, which is regulatory rules under the WTO, vet drugs, crop protection, as well as like pest management. So when I'm hearing is I'm hearing a lot, but I just wanted to just like kind of clear that up, that there is trading that's happening in the African on the African continent in several of the blocks. When you look at countries like Nigeria, Nigeria isn't doing terrible. It's just that I think people want to see more intra-regional trading, which you see, but a lot of African countries right now, you see African countries are sending a lot of their commodities to the European market. And the reason why that's happening is because the European market has different rules under the WTO. So yeah, it's just like it depends. I don't want to get too deep into it, but yeah, there's a lot of work that's happening. Static, they're doing, a good job. ECOWAS doing a good job. EAC is doing a good job as well. They're just all at different places in their journey when it comes to trade. So yeah, yeah.
No, thank you, Kel. Thank you for that. As I'm sitting back, I'm hearing your expertise and understanding this stuff. I'm not an expert in trade or nothing like that. But the question that comes to my mind is that, okay, when we look at the United States, right? The United States is basically a collective of 50 countries, what we would call countries in other places. We call it like the state of Israel or like independent states. So each state has its governor, then there's an answer to the president of federal government, right? But the states have so much power, they can almost run as independent entities as long as they don't go awry of the overall federal government, federal law, right? So why can't something like that work on the continent? It worked in the United States.
You mean like South Africa trading with Botswana, like that?
No, I mean like United States of Africa or United States of South Africa, Southern Africa, something like that. Why can't something like that? I see Josie Gold has raised his hand again.
Something like that. When you say, I'm just trying to understand your question because I really, really, really want to answer it. So you're saying why
can't we have an overarching federal government on the continent? Like a federal government that connects all of these different states, right? That connects everyone from Nigeria to South Africa to Kenya to Egypt if they want to be involved, and Morocco.
Connect them doing what, like political or like for trade?
Well, not only trade, I mean all of the above. The same way in the United States.
Okay, so I would say that they have that right now, right? Because in my humble opinion, so each country on the African continent has a foreign affairs arena, and then they have representatives that represent, their policies and their expertise in said countries. So I would say that they are currently doing like collaboration. I think it depends on the country regarding like which topics would be like most discussed. So I think I answered your question.
Josie, what you gotta say? Josie raised his hand as soon as I asked that question.
I would say it will be a little bit different. I just want to add this part because I know like Kwame Nkrumah, like his whole thing was like he wanted a United States of Africa. But the difference is that on the African continent, what like it's not states, it's different countries. So like in South Africa.
I'm sorry, cut y'all, Kel, but just to push back a little bit on that. So outside of the United States, an independent sovereign nation is a state, right? An independent, that's why we call it like the state of Israel. whatever.
Pure definition.
Yeah, in its pure definition. In its pure definition, a state is not what we call it in the United States. A state is an independent sovereign nation. We call it the United States because these are supposed to be independent sovereign entities under a federation, under this United States, this federal government. You see what I'm saying? So that's why, during slavery, they argued for states' rights. We are a state. We are Louisiana. We're Texans, right? And then there's this overarching federal government that says, okay, y'all all answer in many ways to us, or at least tax. We get to tax you, and the federal government's supposedly main job is to defend the nation, against threats, foreign threats, or whatever have you. But so if you were to compare, like that's why it's really sometimes false to compare the U.S. to another state, to South Africa, even though they're both countries. It would be more fair to compare Texas to South Africa, Louisiana to South Africa, Mississippi to South Africa. You see what I'm saying? I don't know if that made any sense. Josie.
Yeah, okay. This for me, this thing is like this. You need to look at how countries in Africa were founded and how America was founded. That for me, that's where the answer is. Because like if you look at it carefully, let me just use South Africa already. South Africa on its own is many different African ethnicities which used to be independent nations on their own that were kind of like put under the umbrella of South Africa, the Union of South Africa. That came through war. And then of course European settlers and other settlers from other races. That's how South Africa came about. Other African countries have similar stories. I don't know America's story, but I think you'll correct me if I'm wrong, but it used to be a British colony. The best thing, so that should tell you that it also more or less it came about in a similar way, through conquest, through people's blood. Unfortunately. So you need to, so like when you say that's why America is what it is, sure, there are other things that that I'm not privy to, of like what you said about we Louisianians or something like that, like what you were saying earlier on. But Africa, for me personally, the whole regional bloc thing is more likely to work better than, let's say, United States of Africa.
Okay.
Because every country has its own interests and things that they want. What could work for me is if maybe in a regional bloc first, there'll always be a leader within each regional bloc. Like I said earlier, get the economies to a certain level where there's a lot of employment in each economy. There's a lot of prosperity. Sure, other economies will be better, but if they go to the larger economy, there'll be space for those people. I mean, that's what the white man did in South Africa. Like, there's always been other Africans coming into South Africa for work from like Mozambique, Zimbabwe. It's always been a thing. Like if you come to the townships here in Joburg, there's some people whose families migrated here during that time. Or someone like their father, mother, grandmother, somewhere along the line was someone who came from Zimbabwe or Mozambique. That's always been a thing. But those were economies that had a lot of jobs. So like it was easier for people to enter. Unfortunately, like it's a white man. It was a white man's economy, but that's what they could do. So we need to get to a point where we could do that and also grow other economies as well, and then do the whole regional block thing where like we could dictate the prices of our own commodities, things like that, like regional first, and then maybe one region could work with another region to like come to some sort of cohesion.
So I wanted to add, like that's exactly how it works. So on the African continent, it's split up into several economic communities. But like one economic community, you'll have like the EAC will work with SADC to make sure that whatever policy when it comes to like trade or whatever, so that they can facilitate effective trade. But then you have the African Union, which is above, to say, all of the economic community. And so it's up to the economic communities to work with the African Union to make sure that their policies are like pushed down. So I just wanted to add that.
Okay. I see Paul Afrois jumped on. Paul, thank you for joining the conversation, my brother.
No, thank you all. Thank you for this opportunity. I believe it is possible. Remember that when Africa was thrust, South Africa, especially after liberation, Thabo Mbeki, a former president, took it upon himself, I think mandated by his people that mentored him. What was it? The former Tanzanian president, Nyerere, that, you know, he was young, I think he was in his early 50s, that they said, your mandate is to lift Africa in this new era. And that era was a unipolar environment that was headed by America after the collapse of the formerly Soviet Union. And when South Africa was successfully stitched back into the global economy, they headed that together, I think, with Obasanjo, they had that movement towards integrating Africa and getting good terms like good trade deals and many other attendant matters. Now, one of critical items in the agenda at the time was unity of Africa, and there were contestations around that. Remember, there was Muammar Gaddafi at the time wanted, you know, the whole United States of Africa approach at a go, and the other bloc, Thabo and Obasanjo, preferred the staggered approach, which is what the Eastern Bloc I hear is doing. Unfortunately, it didn't go that far. But unfortunately, Thabo, I think around that time, 2 years later, he lost power and his influence. And unfortunately, that dream died. I think it is possible. We know that as Africans, you know, at some point, it starts with a vision. It can be, I believe in the staggered vision. There are a lot of things that we need to do to balance. I think it was Josie, he referred to leveling things. It doesn't have to be the economies. Economies are vastly different, but maybe governance and, you know, rules. I think they had peer review mechanisms so that when we democratize, we agree on things and then start phasing it. So I think to answer you, Dr. Asad, I think it is possible, it is doable, as long as we coalesce around that vision that we want Africa. Southern Africa, when I don't want to take too long, but Smith, when he declared former Rhodesian president or last colonial president, when he declared the UDI, unilateral independence, yes, from Britain, trying to lobby them to assist him to stay in power so that he can, ward off the marauding liberation movements. He said, no, but why would you leave such a continent, such a region, Southern Africa that was, which is so endowed? He said he created this equivalent. He said that it was a what's that place where Persian Gulf of resources this place has got everything. So the whole point is that I think it is doable. Letters was like I think Joseph said, South Africa was different states. It merged, yes, through wars, But maybe we can do it differently. I think Britain did, so not Britain, or United, the European Commission did. When in 1948, after these guys were at war against each other, they agreed to this term, to what we see as EU. So I think it is doable. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you. Yeah, that's another point. Yeah, the EU. And I didn't realize. So I think the last time we were in Spain. We flew into Spain, and then we flew into Spain. We were there for some time. Then we went to Paris, and I was like, oh yeah, we're gonna have to go through immigration, get our passport stamped or whatever. No, because I flew into Spain, got my passport stamped. When I flew into Paris from Spain, I was just there, just free travel. So, Frank, I see you jumped on. Can you hear us? Lozy, you got your hand raised?
Oh yes, Brother Asad,
okay,
yes,
go ahead.
Thank you. I just wanted to come back again and add, listening from the conversation. Look, I think I heard what everybody said, and it makes sense. You know, we all want the idea of Africa working for itself and the African intertrade, which is actually in the talk. And I think it's in the process of happening now. They basically prioritize infrastructure, of course, on the ground, because that won't happen without pushing the infrastructure. My idea on this is that I want us to stay away from having a romantic view of this whole thing, because this is for the first time it's going to happen on the continent. There was never a time where something of this magnitude scale has been achieved on the continent. So, and our history of the continent, having the outside influencers pushing the tribal wars, we've seen so many wars. If we don't execute this very careful and with proper calculations, we might see chaos among ourselves. And remember, the enemy won't leave, especially when we want to build something as this. The enemy is going to come hard. So the African leaders need to make sure that they fall on the practical ideas done, an idealism world where it's romanticized. Why do I say this? I'm saying this looking at the current Africa that we have now, the systems we have in place are the hangover of colonization. We haven't seen the true potential of the land itself and its people and what they're capable of doing. I'm saying African leaders, we must be practical now with the colonial hangover economies and systems that we have. That's the only place we can start. That's where we're going to start to build. And obviously, Africa is not equal. There's no any area in the world where everything is equal. I'm saying we have to look at the infrastructure first, looking at the coast, the harbors that we have now, the coast where the goods come through. It's still a colonial system which was built at the interest of the colonial masters and how they can ship the goods and take them to their native land. And even if you look at Africa today, our countries are still, their biggest traders are still either Asia or Europe. This is a fact. Now you get on the land, you look at the countries that are also like closed without access to the ocean. Now we have to force infrastructure on the land, meaning we build highways, we build railways to push goods into the next country. And then that's gonna also come with us now taking ownership of our own manufacture, where we don't take our raw materials and take them to Asia or Europe or America, where now we have hubs where we manufacture and push the goods within Africa, which I think is what is happening, which might take time. And then we also have to look at the airways. Currently, if you look at countries like Ethiopia, I think that's the biggest destination of the airways from across the globe. And you look at Johannesburg as well, it's active. But we need to build more airports in other African countries as well to increase the travel among the people who will be pushing business. You know, we need to, as I said, the railway as well. And we need to stay away from using the Chinese for our railway improvement. And these are things that when we talk about these things, I feel like people who have got a romantic idea don't want to get into details. And if African leaders don't sit down with the people who are specializing in this field and sit down and execute this very well, we're going to fail. And after we fail, we will see more tribal wars arising again. if we just open up the country like that when everybody's not ready. So we need to look at what we will call human resource in each African countries, because other countries might dominate others if we open up the country now, meaning other countries have produced more, have invested more in human resources, which might dominate other countries and create what tribal wars or whatsoever. So they need to be very careful with how they go about this and all. That's just my take on it, from this whole thing.
Definitely, bro. I think that was very, very insightful. Before we get to Emmanuel, and I want to see if Frank is still on here. If not, KT, where you at? I saw you raise your hand. KT, you jumped on. And if KT?
I'm here. I'm here.
All right. Okay, so we go. Let me say this. We go KT, Emmanuel, and then Kelly will close us out because it's almost been 2 hours and my eyes getting
No, 3.
Almost 3 hours.
Yeah, we're going on 3.
Man, that's outrageous. All right, KT, brother KT.
Okay, I'm sorry. I was a bit late to the party, but the whole United States of Africa, I don't think it's something that would work. I think we should look for something else, because the United States of America was about white people deciding that they're gonna work together. By that time, the native people had been decimated in the US, and they were not even considered. I mean, even when you look today, from what I see, I don't think even Native Americans are on top of problems in the totem pole. They are very high. Their issues are that deep, from what we see. Whereas Africa, we were carved up, and within that, we have a whole lot of different tribes that make this thing. I think we need to find a different way in which we get to trade and grow each other without us trying to become one huge unit, but become true allies of each other, where we grow into looking at each other as neighbors first before we go out to the Europe and other places.
True, definitely. Thank you so much. I see Frank raise his hand. Frank, you there?
Hi, guys.
Peace, brother, peace.
Sure. Sorry about that. What I want to add is that the problem with Africa is that before we get to trading and all those things, there's a lot of things that need to be solved in each of the regions of Africa politically. Because, for example, South Africa is at a very advanced stage in its political life, and there's a lot of accountability when it comes to leaders, although sometimes we might complain that not enough is being done. And I think it was Lozi earlier talking about the African Union, and Kelly also commenting on the African Union. The African Union does exist today on paper, but there are a lot of divisions within the African Union. Because earlier this year, they tried to convene an assembly where there was a lot of disagreement about who would be heading the African Union next. And I think they do it according to regions of that each region gets to be represented. So this time it was supposed to go to West Africa, but within West Africa, there were divisions between the Anglophone and the Francophone, English speaking West Africa and French speaking West Africa. And that assembly was held here in South Africa in Midrand. I think it was a few months ago. It was late 2021 last year. So before we even get to that stage, there's a lot of things that have to be solved politically. And in terms of trade, there's a lot of infrastructure that needs to be built before we even get to getting to talking about trading effectively that will benefit everyone equally, to have a mutually beneficial relationship between the countries. For example, now South Africa has the best infrastructure in the SADC region and also in the whole of Africa. But another internal issue that we have is that our South African government has almost collapsed our rail networks, that now there are a lot more trucks moving on the roads. And I'm sure you've seen on the news in the past few days that there've been a lot of fatal accidents and things like that. And you have trucks crossing the border from South Africa through to Zimbabwe, to Malawi, where it takes days and weeks to deliver goods and commodities to those places. But there's not enough infrastructure being built in those countries. But that responsibility has to lie on each government, because South Africa cannot build infrastructure in those countries. Even if we wanted, we could if we wanted to, but it would be political overreach, because it would be like we are essentially capturing or controlling those states, because we have to get something from what we give out. And
yeah, definitely.
Talking about also the trade within Africa, there's already a trade agreement that's been signed. I don't know if you know about Africa Continental Free Trade Area Agreement.
Yeah.
And the Secretary General of that organization is South African. There's a lot of lobbying going on in West Africa and East Africa with the ECOWAS and EAC. So we still have a long way to go, but we are going in the right direction. But I think the most important thing is that we can't do all these things without infrastructure, accountability, and political stability, which is the three things that South Africa has, but the rest of Africa does not have all those components that we need to move forward.
Yeah, definitely, brother. You know, who built the railroads in the United States? Was it the government or was it private industry?
That's a good question.
I don't know. I thought it was private industry. I could be wrong. Y'all don't quote me. But I think in the US, it wasn't like, in terms of railroads in particular, it was private. I think it was private industries that at least built some of the railroads. You know, I don't know. I'm sure there was a, how they call it, a private-public partnership, you know, government/private entity getting together, making things happen. So, man, this has been a very interesting conversation. I see we got buku hands raised. Kel, and then Josie, and then Losie.
Wait, did he say Emmanuel before?
I think Emmanuel's hand is raised from before.
Okay.
Okay, so I wanted to touch on a couple things. A couple things that have been brought up. I think that okay, so I want to say that like trade is not transportation, even though like it's closely related. And I think that sometimes when people are thinking about like trade, when it comes to like the African continent, that they're not thinking that trade, it encompasses like the entire world. So that means that there's going to be imports and exports that are coming to and from like the African continent. And a lot of that rules and regulations are dictated under the World Trade Organization. So that's who dictates that. And when you think about trade in general, it's either, depending on the country, it's either through the Ministry of Agriculture or it's through the Ministry of Trade. And so even though people don't think about agriculture, it's really a technical area. And what some people are bringing up when it comes to like safety and security, that's peace and security. So that's totally different, even though war does affect food insecurity. And so I just want to like throw it out there that because I want people to like understand that the issues that the continent faces, it's not like African issue like specific. It's like the entire world. So like transportation issues or peace and security issues, you don't only see that on the continent, you see that around the world. And you see like ministries of agriculture, or depending on who like colonized the country, you know, they like that they are working together to fix said problems. But I just wanted to give an example of like an issue in because people always say, well, why isn't Africa trading? Like, what's taking so long? Oh, I know it's us. It's because war and security. I think that's very easy to say, but an example that I wanted to like leave everyone with is like aflatoxins. So aflatoxins is a naturally occurring mold that grows out of the earth. So if you put down like peanuts or whatever, so say you are a farmer and you want to grow peanuts. You want to grow peanuts to send or to send to your neighbor. Depending on like how far, like how long you've been like farming or whatever, that naturally occurring mold is going to grow. And if you don't address aflatoxins, it leads to liver cancer, it leads to stunting, it just makes people sick, like basically. So okay, how can you get rid of aflatoxins? Well, you can put a chemical down. Well, on top of that, you also need like laboratories to test for it. So say you're from a country that doesn't have as much resources, or it has really good laboratories, but it probably can't check like for the molds. For the mold to, you know, at a certain level. So that's the reason why like some trade is not happening like on the African continent. It's really, really, really technical reasons. And so I just wanted to say that because like I think that like whenever I hear conversations about trade, like I'm like, people, I feel like it's not like people are naming like adjacent issues and not necessarily like the issues that's happening. So it gets really nerdy. It gets really like down like in the weeds or whatever. But I just want to let people know that like, hey, like this is why trade isn't happening. And the African Union, it's not perfect, but the African Union is there to like help maintain, you know, some type of order, particularly when it comes to trade. In our current economic communities, the way that they're set up, they have to answer to the African Union. And overall, it's going to make trade better and make it safer for citizens on the ground. So that's all I want to add. I have talked way too much. I'm done.
I didn't talk way too much. It's 3 hours in. I'm
we barely holding on, Kelly.
All right. I'm gonna get Josie and Losie, then I'm out of here. I gotta get me something to eat. I gotta take me a shower. Lord have mercy. What time is it?
Okay.
Go ahead, brother Josie.
Yeah, look.
Josie, let me ask you this. I want your opinion on this. I just heard a big crash upstairs. I think my children have broke something. But Josie, this is off of the free trade. This is off of the United States of Africa and all that. Ramaphosa, Cyril. I keep wanting to say Cecil because that's her daddy name. Cyril met with Biden. What you think that conversation was about? And what do you think he should have been asking or should have been talking about?
The conversation for me was about these things. One, they want us to switch to renewable energy. Two, they want us to say we're against Russia.
Oh, well, yeah.
They want to push that thing, that narrative. Personally, look, I don't think that Cyril should be saying anything to anybody. And I think, especially the American president, I don't think right now South Africa should be doing any of that. I think we should be focusing on the South African economy and the South African people, personally. That's my thing. Like going there, speaking to Biden, Biden's not going to do anything for him. I'm not sure what else they could be speaking of that could truly be fruitful, honestly. Like, that's just my honest opinion.
What about energy investments in terms of upgrading like infrastructure to to avoid this load shedding stuff?
Look, personally, I watched the video. Like, I think it was a NBC one. Like, they were talking about power cuts that were happening in California.
Facts.
One of the things that they were talking about is that they have like an aging infrastructure here, like South Africa, that's affected by the weather over there. So so American infrastructure is also old. So, and another thing, I was listening to another guy, another live where African American guy, he was saying that one of the reasons why is because they're also trying to switch to renewable energy. So I don't actually trust these things, like, to be honest with you. Sure, infrastructure has to be upgraded. Everybody knows it, but I think there's a lot of stuff happening behind the scenes that no one's talking about in regards to renewable energy and how it's creating this whole load shedding situation over here, even in other parts of the world. That's why if you look at Europe right now, they're buying a lot of our coal. Why are they buying coal from us? Then we have to switch to renewable energy because it's not working. There's a lie somewhere, and of course it's tied to money and corruption, unfortunately.
Lozy, I want to pose the same question to you.
Hold on.
Oh, go ahead.
And another thing, something was mentioned about the railways. I think what I need to clear about the railways in South Africa is that they were used for like trade within South Africa and Southern Africa. I forgot what the railway line is, but it cuts through other countries to move goods across. So that was there. And of course, the trucking business. And another thing, the whole African Union thing. Look, I've lived on this continent my whole life. I've been hearing about the African Union since I was a kid. I did history in school. We studied the African Union. And the African Union, to be honest, is just toothless. It has no power. The regional blocks like SADC have more of an influence economically. They can ban you, they can kick you out. Like sometimes I've seen that happen. It has more power, not a lot, but it has more power than, let's say, the African Union. No one answers to the African Union. And another thing you have to take into consideration is that the African Union is not funded by Africans, mostly. I think South Africa is one of the largest, if not the largest African donator to the African Union. Most African countries don't really contribute to it. It's done by foreign people, like other governments. I mean, the headquarters of the African Union in Ethiopia, I think Addis Ababa, stand to be corrected, is not funded by any African country. It's by a foreign country. So you need to take these things into consideration. If someone's paying for you, if someone's paying all of these things for you, then obviously they want certain things and they're going to tell you what to do. So African Union for me is useless. And I don't see it doing anything for people. And another thing I want to add is that, like what my brother Lozi was saying earlier, I mean, it's true. Like, this can only happen slowly and practically and built over time. And I think it has to be something that's practical. So, yeah, thank you.
Thank you, brother Josie. Always a pleasure talking to you. Let me get back on camera. Lozi, let me pose the same question I posed to Josie. Ramaphosa met with Biden. What do you think that conversation was about, and what should it have been about?
Okay, before I jump onto that question, I'd like to add on what Brother Joseph Gold was saying. Yes, the African Union currently seems to have been toothless throughout history as well. The biggest funder in terms of African countries that is leading in funding that organization, yes, is South Africa. Even Pan-African government, the biggest funder in terms of African government is South Africa. The same building in Ethiopia, Addis Ababa, I think, that organization, the governmental building for Africa Union, I think it was built by China, and then it was funded by China, which later on it was discovered that China has put some cameras to be able to want to observe and listen to what the African leaders will be discussing and planning alongside. So yeah, the regional powerhouses hold more power than African Union, because now we're currently not united. But back to the position, I mean, to the question of Ramaphosa going to visit Biden. For me, bad move, be bad, good. I'm trying to be objective. I think it's a geopolitical power play. You see, the West is aware of BRICS and the influence of South Africa on BRICS, which is the emerging power. And you saw currently now, I think it's called the SCO, that is happening in the Middle East and Asia, where they literally building a parallel system that is going to dethrone the dollar, or at least they will challenge the dollar. So I think, look, presidents visit each other without announcing officially. Let's be honest. Ramaphosa could have fled to America without telling the whole world. But America, when the African leaders coming to USA, because South Africa is the biggest player on the continent, they want to show the Middle East that we can still pull Africa to our side if we want. Because let's be honest, the future remains at the center in Africa. So whoever creates a parallel system, be it East or West, they're going to fight for Africa in the middle, because that's where the biggest resources are coming from. And it was important for Biden to call the president of South Africa to come to America for whatever they want to discuss, just to also show the domination, to show Putin and Xi Jinping that even if South Africa is on BRICS, we can still pull them anytime we want on our side. And I think Ramaphosa did well by going there. I believe he definitely didn't go there blindly. He probably could have communicated with the guys in the East, you know, just to have a balanced view, because we are still part of BRICS, you know. I think at the end of the day, Ramaphosa, what he's doing is also showing East as well, that even though we are a member of BRICS and East is also stronger than Africa, we stand as Africans. We also going to make our own decisions in terms of who we visit and who we trade with in the near future as Africans, you know. So I don't know how the East saw this, but it could, as I said, it could be bad or good. But I believe our leaders know what they're doing, and obviously Ramaphosa consulted with the leaders of the continent as well with that move. I don't think it's simple as how we would like to make it sound. It's political, it's complex, it's geopolitical power play at that level. And obviously, America is going to make the issue of energy a talk show, you know, because they want us to still depend on them for things like renewable energy and all stuff. So how can America be helping us with energy while America is also having energy crisis? At this point, I would only trust, let's say, Russia, that can help us to bring back our energy, even if we can go through nuclear plants, you know, even if it's bad for the environment, but technically we need it for now. And I don't think Russia will be a country that will hold South Africa or Africa at ransom for if we slightly depend on them, because history shows that Russia has been trying to win Africa. So they are forced to play an inspiring role to Africa, because they try to go outsmart and compete with the West. So I think the best alliance we can have now to build the energy of South Africa is really either Russia or one of the Eastern countries, which the brother Pierre said earlier. He said some investments are coming through North Korea and China. One that I know that they've already built light solar panels. I think it's in the Northern Cape. It's through the government of Saudi Arabia and South Africa. They're about to complete that solar power plant, which is going to be the largest in Africa. So I don't know if they already completed it and started to supply energy to their houses or not. But from my research, that power plant is going to supply to about 87,000 households. So it's also going to help a lot. But yeah, the move of Ramaphosa visiting Biden, I think it's way complex than what an ordinary man in the country can understand. The devil is always in details, you know.
Devil is always in the A is in the details. The devil's in the details and the A is in the details. And I think I want to say I agree when it comes to investment, I would deal with Russia and China, that US Obama showed us flames with AGOA deal. I'll say this: you said the best person to depend on, and this kind of person, and Kay reiterated Russia and China. I would say the best people to depend on is yourself. Depend on yourself and operate from, the They say, what is the old political saying? No permanent friends, no permanent enemies, only permanent interest. Operate from the position of what is in your best interest, what is in our best interest, right? So whoever you got to deal with to get what you need to get, that's what you do. And you don't negotiate from a position of what's the word I'm looking for? Desperation or need or whatever have you. You operate based on your interest. That's just the rule of thumb in politics. I think that's it for me. I done lost all my brain power at this point. I can't even think no more. I'm sleepy. Y'all can see it in my eyes. I'm sleepy now. I'm hungry. And yeah, I want to go get me something to eat. I hope McDonald's is still open and load shedding has not shut down.
I'm sorry.
What you said?
I said we don't wear you out. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, it was good because look, it's been a long time. We hadn't done live in a long time, and it took a while for people to jump on that load shedding. Somebody in the comments just now said the load shedding is going to stage 6. I don't know how bad it could get. How much? What does stage 6 mean?
It's a few more hours. It's a long time.
Yeah, I don't need this. We need to. Who we need to call? China, Russia. I don't care. Biden. What's the man in Mexico? Call him. Call whoever.
The Department of Energy. Then do they have well, whoever the Ministry of Ministry of Energy. I don't know what it'd be in South Africa. Sure, it's something. I don't know who handles energy.
I think South Africa is suffering from the same thing that the city of New Orleans is suffering from. And that is that the city of New Orleans has one energy company, and it's called Entergy. And they raise rates and the lights go out. The hurricane comes, we out of power. We don't have lights and power for 3 weeks, and it's not 2 hours of load shedding. It's the infrastructure is down. It's gonna take forever to build it back up or whatever have you. However, Texas did have a problem with their grid because of some massive freezing and stuff that took place maybe about 2 years ago. But the beauty of Texas is that Texas has competition. So it's like 4 or 5 different energy companies that you can go to, and it keeps prices low. And it keeps, if one company's you out and they keep flashing out, let me call these people over here and quit you. You know what I'm saying? Drop you like an ex-girlfriend and go get me a new girl. That type of stuff. So I think that's important. But
Asad.
Yeah, go, brother Joseph.
Yeah, I think some of us are worried about independent power producers. I think even though we might agree with you on that, like there should be more competition, it's a state-owned business at the end of the day. And some of us fear, like, how do I put this? Like, independent power producers, what they could bring, could it be detrimental to our people? I mean, like, let's look at the people of Soweto. They haven't paid electricity since 94, some of them. They just stopped paying. I'm not supporting what they were doing, but some of them were like, hey, I have no money, I'm free, I'm not paying, which I don't support. It's wrong. But if this was an independent power producer, that wasn't going to happen. Some of them have been cut off now. They would have cut them off a long time ago. I think.
So if you don't pay, they still let your lights stay on?
That was back in the day. Like, we're free. Apartheid's over. We're not paying. Mandela said electricity would be free. That's what some of them would say.
Oh, see, that was a big promise by Brother Nelson. That's I didn't know that. See, I didn't see that. This is why the A is in the detail. Like, the A is in the detail. So I didn't know that electricity was promised as, I guess, a citizen,
to some people.
Right? Okay.
To some people. Like, I think we need to be careful. Nothing's for free, but I think you need to be careful when someone comes up to you and says free, 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 free. So there's no such thing. There's no such thing. I think these are the consequences of that as well. Some people just haven't been paying electricity. Some of them are using illegal electricity connection. A lot of people are doing that. So that's another thing that plays a role into it. So, but it gives some people a sense of freedom, which is unfortunate. But look, I'm not sure if independent power producers are the thing for South Africa, or should we have a stay state owned and make sure that it's run properly, and you could dictate the prices of it, and if it's unfair, you can let them know it's unfair in the South African way.
Yeah, well, you know, that's a very, I see Emmanuel has his hand up. I don't know if that's from before or now, but I think that's a very important thing. I think, you know, we so in the States, and I know we had to wrap this up, but in the States, we look at private industry as better than government industry, right? We would say, man, the government is going to be bureaucratic, it's going to be slow, it's not going to be right, inefficient. Yeah. We're like, we want privatize it. Privatize it. The only things that we want to keep like public is maybe like water, right?
It used to be education, but
yeah, education. I don't even want public education. The government ain't doing a good job at that. Let's you know.
Okay, can I just quick thing?
Go ahead, brother.
Okay, look, I think South Africa's situation is a bit different, especially for the people that are very poor. I know, like what I was saying, like maybe the average person in America, like if you privatize electricity, they'll be able to afford it. The average person in South Africa, if you privatize it, they might not be able to afford it. So how do we manage that? So I think maybe in many ways.
Let me jump in, Joseph. So we to answer that question. So in New Orleans, and that's always my frame of reference because that's where I lived for 43 years. There is a private company that runs that it's called Entergy. So a lot of times you'll hear me say Entergy instead of saying energy, right? Because that's the company. But that company is basically renting the infrastructure from the city of New Orleans. Therefore, the city of New Orleans, even though it has a CEO, even though the company has a CEO and all of this stuff, they answer to city council. So if city council says your rates are too high, you need to come, them prices way too high, you need to cut it, they will, but they have never done that, right? They always have acquiesced to Entergy because Entergy has essentially created a monopoly there in the city. So it's both problematic on in that way. But if the city council chose, if they had the wherewithal and the testicular fortitude, they could tell Entergy, cut these prices. So I'm saying all to say it's still government oversight. So there's some government oversight, but you're right. In terms of if they don't pay,
we have something similar.
Yeah,
we have something called the NERSA. But even with NERSA, I think for me personally, it's just easier as a South African national, let's say if I was really like poor, to go after the government than a private company. I know the government is there to represent me. Well, that's what they should be doing. It's easier to complain about it, especially if, you know, you're at the bottom of the bottom. So I hear your argument and people's argument that says, and it is true, government is slower. You'll notice it even here as well. Government is slower. Your visa process is a true testament of that. But but in all honesty though, like I get why some people fear the idea of privatized businesses being the ones doing that. Because to be honest with you, a lot of the legal connections that are here in the city, if it was a private company, and some of these people would be in prison by now. Because it's the government, they're not gonna put away most of their voters. They might cut them off, but not put them away or like, you know, get them some crazy fines. They'll fine you, but it's not as serious as that. They're not gonna take it too far besides cutting you off.
Joseph, let me ask you this then. Instead of private energy producers, right? Load shedding has been going on, at least I've been hearing about it since I told people, made this announcement that I'm moving to South Africa. Where has private industry been? And I want to speak specifically about black people. Why haven't we taken this opportunity to create inverter? I had to go buy an inverter, right? I had to buy it. I went down, I don't know where it was, but it was, and no offense to our white family. I don't want to make this a racial thing, but Black South Africans are the super majority of this country, right? So where has Black private industry been on kind of cornering this market of inverters or solar power in order to at least alleviate the problems of load shedding? Like, not to say we're going to go all renewable, but because we're in this transition period, or we're in this period where load shedding is happening, again, like I said at the beginning of the program, wherever there's crisis, there's an opportunity. Capitalism sees an opportunity. So
true.
Just your thoughts on that.
Yeah, okay. On the whole, there's something called IPPs, independent power producers. So those people, you can sell your own electricity to ESCOM. Some companies do that. The first time I heard about it was a Black South African. I forgot what his company's name is. So that does exist. But as far as inverters and like batteries and whatever, I haven't heard a lot of Black South Africans do. So that is a huge opportunity. And you are right, what you were saying earlier, it will reduce prices of things. So I think we need all of that. I agree with you on that, but I also think we need more IPPs, the whole independent power producers thing. And there are a lot of companies that are doing it and supplying power to ESCOM. We need more of that as well, not just inverters. So yeah, thanks for having me. Look, I have to
thank everybody for being on here. Everybody, I can't remember the names. I'm tired, y'all. I'm gonna just say goodbye. Y'all might not see me for a couple of days because I'm gonna rest. No, man, it's always a pleasure connecting with my South African family, talking and linking up. I should have said this at the beginning. We're gonna have this meetup on October 8th. I know it's 3 hours in. Ain't nobody watching this for 3 hours. So, but it was a great conversation. I am anyway, I'm just happy to be here, family. And thank y'all, and we will see y'all